Chapter 1921 Ancient Events, Mysterious Master. Red Star was extremely angry, its aura was like a giant wave, accompanied by endless flames, surging in the starry sky. At this time, Lin Mo truly felt that Red Star was supreme. Although it seemed to be a bit weaker than Black Stone Supreme, it was far beyond Holy Venerable. There was still a supreme existence who had lived from ancient times to the present. He accidentally entered the outer domain, and he was able to meet Red Star. Could this be considered fate? After being angry for a while, Red Star finally calmed down. Lin Mo immediately asked, "Red Star Senior, can you tell me about the events of ancient times?" Red Star did not refuse, his eyes revealed a trace of nostalgia. That era was the most prosperous era. Our world is called the Great World, but a more accurate name should be the Rune Great World. The entire world is actually composed of a supreme and great rune. The Great World rune is also the goal of every cultivator, and it is also the goal of the Black Blood Great World. We are very strong, conquering one world after another, incorporating these worlds under our command. Until we encountered the Black Blood Great World. Old Man Red Star began to tell the story of the Great World. He has lived for countless years. As a star, his lifespan is extremely long, enough to live for billions of years. But he had encountered a major change, his lifespan was drastically shortened, and now he is not far from his limit. His tone was full of twilight, flowing with the years. Under his narration, Lin Mo roughly understood the former Great World, and some of the things that had happened in the Great World. The former Great World was very prosperous, with vast star fields and many strong people. Countless strong people conquered other worlds, obtained the origins of other worlds, and filled them into the Great World. The Great World also became more vast and powerful because of this. A powerful world can possess more strong individuals, reaching even higher peaks. Thus, the Great World becomes increasingly powerful, conquering more and more worlds. This is a positive cycle, and the Great World will eventually become unmatched. Until later, it encountered the Black Blood Great World. The Black Blood Great World was also extremely powerful. The term, Great World, is actually the same as Great Realm. Only worlds that have reached a certain level can be called Great Worlds. Worlds like the Tulu Realm and the Soul Spirit Realm are not qualified. In the Black Blood Great World's vocabulary, the Great World is also known as the Rune Great World. When two great worlds collide, it is actually a collision of the strong individuals within the worlds. With the collision of the two worlds, a brutal war lasting tens of thousands of years began. This war belongs to the truly strong, with participants being at least Other Shore Realm. Other Shore Realm were merely cannon fodder, Saint Venerables were the backbone, and the true main force was the Supreme. Those stronger than the Supreme, the Heavenly Venerates, were the high-end combat power. Repeated collisions and repeated battles resulted in heavy losses for both worlds. Supreme beings fell one after another, and Heavenly Venerates perished. Originally, the Great World had the upper hand, even having the opportunity to counterattack into the Black Blood Great World. If it could occupy the Black Blood Great World and seize its origin, the Great World would undergo a sublimation, possibly giving birth to a Tao Venerate. But at that moment, the various worlds that had been occupied by the Great World rebelled simultaneously. They restrained some of the Great World's power, causing the Great World to fall into a disadvantage. The war became even more brutal. Red Star participated in the war at that time, suffered heavy damage, almost fell, and survived to this day after leaving the battlefield. Although he is a starry sky behemoth, he is also a member of the Great World. He once illuminated a huge galaxy, with countless human cultivators using his light and heat to cultivate. He is a member of the Great World and also a member of the human race. In his narration, Lin Mo knew some secrets. The four source races do not exist, and neither do the various races. In that era, the Great World only had the human race. As for how the four source races came into being, Red Star did not know. That was after the ancient era. He was seriously injured and withdrew, falling into a sleep that lasted for millions of years. Over millions of years, times have changed, and he was in the outer domain. He felt the world was peaceful, knowing that the war was over, so he fell asleep again. Sleeping and waking up like this, Red Star never asked about worldly affairs again. Perhaps the war really caused him serious damage, causing him to not want to move anymore, just wanting to quietly wait for the end of his life. Lin Mo faintly felt that there might be some secrets back then, but he would not ask if Red Star did not say. After Red Star's account, Lin Mo finally understood everything that happened in the ancient times. And also knows the origin of the various races now. Such as the Demon race, Golden Eagle race, Three Silver race, and other large and small races, are actually the creatures of the various realms conquered by the Great World. Some of the creatures in some worlds were exterminated in the battle with the Black Blood Great World, while others survived and became the current myriad races after the war. Many races inside have a natural hatred for the human race, which now seems understandable. After all, they were once conquered by the human race. It would be strange not to hate the human race. But according to Red Star, the human race would not indiscriminately kill innocent people when conquering the various races. The human race only needed the origin power of the various realms to enhance the origin of the Great World. Similarly, the human race would also give them a stable living space. In fact, even if the human race did not conquer them, they would be conquered by other great worlds sooner or later. Weakness is the original sin. This sentence applies everywhere. Red Star said, the heavenly venerates of the human race were too soft-hearted back then. If they had been wiped out at that time, there would have been no rebellion from the various races later. So you must remember that being soft-hearted to the enemy is being cruel to yourself. Don't have pity, the greatest evil is pity. The greatest evil is pity. This sentence is very heavy, but it has some truth to it. Lin Mo firmly remembered this sentence, but he had his own ideas and his own subjectivity, and would not be influenced by outsiders. Lin Mo said, Senior, I still have a question here. I once saw some undead legions in ancient ruins. Moreover, these legions have a master. Senior, do you know who this master is? Since entering the mysterious manor for the first time, Lin Mo saw the handwritten notes and the master's information. Later, he saw similar information several times in a row. Plus his own spells and his own undead legion. Lin Mo had an unspeakable feeling about this mysterious master. It always felt like he and that master were related. Red Star blinked his eyes, thought for a moment, I have also heard of the master you mentioned. But it's just hearsay, I have never really seen him. 3:8. I was also curious, but there was no answer. Perhaps you will know when you reach the heavenly venerate, but unfortunately I am only a supreme, and the weakest supreme at that. I withdrew from the battlefield too early, and I am not very clear about what happened later. Red Star said in a low voice, with a slight flicker in his words. Lin Mo felt that he should know something, but he couldn't say it. Is there a restriction? Lin Mo thought in his heart, what kind of restriction could make the Supreme keep silent? Is that master so mysterious? There are no supreme beings in this world now, let alone heavenly venerates. It seems that this secret cannot be solved for the time being. The two chatted for a long time, and Lin Mo obtained more information about the ancient times from Red Star. In addition to what he knew, he probably understood the changes in the Great World over the years. Connecting one thing to another, he figured out the context of the evolution of the Great World. Chapter 1922, Traitors Deserve to Die. Lin Mo bid farewell to Red Star, and Red Star pointed out the way back for him. For Red Star, he would not get lost even in the outer domain, because he could see the God Road, the broken God Road. Lin Mo invited Red Star to return to the current human race, but Red Star said that he had just woken up and had not recovered yet, so he could not move for the time being. When he wants to go, he will naturally go. Red Star also told Lin Mo that his time was running out. Even just moving would consume a lot of time. Only by maintaining the status quo can he live longer. Lin Mo naturally understood that Red Star, as a special existence, had suffered serious injuries and it was not easy to survive for so long. Lin Mo embarked on his journey home. He didn't know how far it was. Even Red Star didn't know. Red Star could only see the direction of the God Road, but could not see the distance. He had forgotten how far he had flown away from the battlefield back then. He only remembered that he had fallen asleep while flying. Lin Mo could only hope that it was not too far. The surroundings were empty and dark, and he couldn't see a single star. Behind him was the dim light emitted by Red Star, which was becoming increasingly dim as the distance increased. The surroundings became darker and darker. Lin Mo's body was flashing with purple light, becoming the only bright spot. The purple light chased after him, unable to catch up, trailing far behind, leaving behind dots of light. Each step he took covered 1.5 million kilometers, surpassing the speed of light. His gaze swept across the dark world, his mind churning with what Hongxing had just said. This is the outer domain, and the outer domain should be barren. But in ancient times, the outer domain was not barren. The outer domain also had stars and people living there, just in smaller numbers. The people who lived there at that time were called the outer domain people. Later, when the war between the two realms broke out, it was not the human core that was affected first, but the outer domain. The outer domain was completely devastated. Collisions at any level other shore, Saint Venerable, Supremaya could shatter the starry sky. The outer domain was completely leveled, and from then on, it truly became barren. Later, the war spread towards the center of the great world, and the outer domain was completely abandoned. Some people retreated from the battlefield, like Hongxing, unable to fight anymore, and retreated to the outer domain. The outer domain had vast space, and they were also looking for new paths. According to Hongxing, the situation of the human race at that time was not optimistic. After the various races rebelled, the human race suffered repeated defeats, losing large star fields. Therefore, the human race made various preparations to find a way out for themselves. If they really lost, they might be able to hide in a corner of the outer domain space and slowly make plans. The human race was very strong, and as long as they were given enough time, there was still a chance. At the same time, many heavily injured experts would also enter the outer domain space. Many of them would die in the dark and boundless world, leaving behind inheritances. Perhaps their descendants would be lucky enough to find their graves. Lin Mo felt that every step of the human race's predecessors was meaningful. They often thought 3 steps ahead for every step they took. Before making a decision, they had already thought about the consequences. The vast outer domain space is like a graveyard. I don't know how many years it has buried. No wonder so many people enter the outer domain space every year to look for opportunities. Those are all inheritances left by the human race's predecessors. It's a pity to leave them to those guys. The various races rebelled. These guys are all traitors. In Hongxing's account, after the human race conquered the various realms, they were actually very good to them. They still allowed them to live in their own worlds, completely ignoring them, and even helping them resist dangers. Under the cruel law of survival, the human race's actions were already benevolent. But these races launched rebellions, trying to wipe out the human race. Even after being repelled in the Black Blood Great World, they still did not give up and tried to eliminate the human race again. They almost succeeded. If it weren't for Xiao Zontian, the human race would have been gone. If they had really succeeded, it would have been too ridiculous. The human race did not lose to the Black Blood Great World, but was destroyed by these trash. There is always a price to pay for what you've done. Lin Mo's killing intent rose, and he had already made a decision in his heart. He would not let any of these rebellious races go. After walking for an unknown amount of time, a light suddenly appeared in front of him. A singing voice sounded in his ears. How can there be singing? This singing seems to contain some kind of rule. Lin Mo felt a tightness in his heart and became vigilant instantly. The light approached, becoming clearer and clearer. Finally seeing the essence of the light clearly, Lin Mo couldn't help but frown. Is this a ship? A ship, a sailing ship. The sailing ship rose and fell in the dark starry sky, like being in the ocean, moving forward along the waves. Beneath it, the space rolled up waves, rippling out thousands of layers. A look of shock appeared in Lin Mo's eyes. Spatial laws. It was the spatial laws that propelled this sailing ship forward. Lin Mo switched to undead vision, but did not see a soul. There was no one on the sailing ship, and it was unknown what was singing. With such a bizarre situation, there was only one possibility. That is, the sailing ship had a spirit, a vessel spirit. Could it be that this is a space-type magic treasure, and a space-type magic treasure that has given birth to a vessel spirit? Lin Mo's heart stirred, and he quickly followed. He was getting closer and closer to the sailing ship, and the spatial laws rippling from the sailing ship were becoming more and more obvious. Lin Mo felt the spatial laws, as if he was looking at the most beautiful thing in the world, unable to extricate himself. Compared to the spatial laws stimulated by the wings of the undead, this sailing ship was obviously more attractive. Finally, Lin Mo came to the front of the sailing ship. The sailing ship was not large, less than 10 meters in length. Compared to the human race's warships, it could only be considered a small dot. Lin Mo stretched out his hand, wanting to touch the sailing ship. His hand passed through the sailing ship, unable to touch it at all. The two were as if they were in different spaces. They could be seen, but could not be touched. Lin Mo tried a few times, and the result was the same. It's not here. Lin Mo suddenly understood that the sailing ship was not here. This was just a projection of it, and no one knew its true location. If it's not here, it can't be collected. Lin Mo could only follow behind the sailing ship, feeling the spatial laws it rippled. The sailing ship seemed to feel someone following it, the singing became hurried, and its speed became faster and faster. Lin Mo chased after it relentlessly, but the distance between the two was rapidly widening. The wings of the undead swished open, and the vast soul power was injected into them. The wings of the undead vibrated violently, and strong spatial laws were generated from them. Lin Mo smashed through the space in front of him and chased after it at an alarming speed. After using the wings of the undead, Lin Mo's speed increased at least several times. Tens of millions of miles of starry sky were only a blink of an eye. He completely disregarded the consumption of soul power, and in the blink of an eye, he came behind the sailing ship. At this moment, the sailing ship accelerated again, becoming faster and faster. Lin Mo chased with all his strength, but the distance between the two was still constantly widening. Seeing the sailing ship disappear from sight, Lin Mo helplessly put away the wings of the undead. Lin Mo lost this chase, losing in the control of the spatial laws. Although the other party was just a magic treasure, it was obviously stronger than him. Dim light shone from not far away, and Lin Mo turned his head to see Hongxing. He didn't expect that after chasing for so long, he would eventually return near Hongxing. Hongxing's voice sounded, "Little guy, why are you back again?" Lin Mo said, "This junior was chasing a sailing ship, and unknowingly returned here." Hongxing chuckled, "Sailing ship, that is the natal magic treasure of the Sky-Breaking Supreme, named Sky-Breaking Boat. It has intelligence, you can't catch up." Chapter 1923. Soul Calling Song, Soul Return. Red Star told Lin Mo some stories about the Sky-Piercing Shuttle. Its owner was the Sky-Piercing Supreme, one of the few Supremes among the human race who comprehended the law of space. The Sky-Piercing Supreme's combat power was unparalleled among all Supremes. In a great battle, the Sky-Piercing Supreme single-handedly fought to the death a celestial Venerable from the Black Blood Great World. To fight a celestial Venerable to the death with the body of a Supreme, one can see how strong the Sky-Piercing Supreme's combat power was. In this great battle, the Sky-Piercing Supreme was seriously injured and dying. In the end, he came to the outer domain and chose to bury himself here. No one knows where he buried himself. Red Star recalled, "Almost 1,000,000 years ago, it appeared not long after I awakened. It sang the soul-summoning song, constantly flying in this outer space. Unfortunately, no matter how loud it sang the soul-summoning song, the Sky-Piercing Supreme would not return." According to Red Star, the soul-summoning song was the most popular song among the human race back then. The soul-summoning song was created by a celestial Venerable who was proficient in the law of the soul. It is said that it could condense faith, gather soul fragments, and revive the dead. In that era, there was a saying that after a person died, their soul would scatter in the world. If the soul could be summoned back, there would be a chance to revive the dead. However, more people felt that it was just the celestial Venerable comforting everyone. But at that time, there were still many people who would rather believe it to be true than not. During the most intense period of the battle, the soul-summoning song was also the loudest. Lin Mo listened to Red Star's words, carefully savoring the soul-summoning song he had just heard, vaguely feeling a sense of oppression, like a call, causing a strong throbbing in his heart. He followed his memory and tried to hum for a while. His originally calm soul suddenly became a little agitated. It seemed that he resonated with some existence in the dark. For a time, countless voices rang in his soul. He immediately stopped, and all the voices stopped as well. Red Star said, "I forgot to tell you, the soul-summoning song must be sung on the other shore, you can't do it yet." Lin Mo had already realized this. He just tried it, and his soul was a little uneasy. After saying goodbye to Red Star again, Lin Mo embarked on the road home for the second time. From the soul-summoning song alone, he could feel the intensity of the battle back then. How the human race counterattacked after being suppressed and finally won the victory. Red Star did not reveal the details of the battle back then. Many things must have happened back then. Red Star spoke too generally, but only by seeing it with one's own eyes can one have a real feeling. Maybe everyone's feelings are different. Lin Mo thought of the ancient talisman that once took him back to that era. If there was an ancient talisman that could take him to see the great battles of the ancient times, the grand occasion of that year, it would also be a very wonderful thing. This time, until the Red Star's light completely disappeared behind him and the world was completely plunged into darkness, nothing happened. Lin Mo walked farther and farther, and the surroundings became more and more silent. There was no sound in the starry sky, and even with his keen soul, he couldn't feel anything. Lin Mo moved forward in the direction pointed by the red star, each step being 1.5 million kilometers. He didn't know how long he had walked or how far he had gone. He was still in the outer domain. The outer domain was too big to imagine. Even in ancient times, those supremes could not explore the outer domain clearly. Conquering the various worlds, sending the origins of the various worlds to the Great World, making the Great World continue to expand and become stronger. For a long time, the outer domain space was always in a state of expansion. It was impossible for the Supremes to understand the expanded space in real time. Moreover, absorbing the origins of other worlds would also breed some strange things. For example, some star behemoths that shouldn't exist in the Great World, some strange dangerous places, all kinds of possibilities. It was precisely because of this that when the war was lost, the human race would decide to let some seriously injured Supreme Saints retreat to the outer space. There are indeed some areas where no one knows what they are. Many of the things Red Star said were also heard. Because he himself had never entered the deepest part of the outer space, he had only heard other Supremes mention it. Once, there were stars here, even if not many, there were some. But now, it has become a true wasteland. A batch of skeleton god generals appeared in the starry sky, scattering in all directions. Lin Mo released a batch of skeleton god generals every distance, letting them explore the outer space. When the sense weakened, he would recall the skeleton god generals. So far, he has released 10,000 batches of skeleton god generals, each batch being 10,000. That is to say, there are already 100 million skeleton god generals searching for roads in the outer space. They search in all directions, aimlessly, but very carefully. If any living beings appear, they cannot hide from them. Unfortunately, after searching for many days, there were no discoveries. Even the sky-piercing shuttle that had appeared before did not appear again. A Supreme who controls the rules of space, if he buries himself, others will not be able to find him. Batches of skeleton god generals were released. After another 10 days, the number of skeleton god generals in the outer space had exceeded 200 million. At this moment, Lin Mo could vaguely see some light, which was the faint white light transmitted back by the skeleton god generals. Suddenly, Lin Mo heard the soul-summoning song in his ear. He stopped abruptly and looked towards the source of the sound. A coffin was floating there, motionless in the starry sky, and the sound was coming from the coffin. Outer space, in a sense, is also the graveyard of ancient powerhouses. It is not surprising that some coffins appear. The coffin was less than 10,000 meters away from Lin Mo, which was no different from being right in front of him. Lin Mo vaguely felt that this coffin looked familiar. He thought of the Shattered Star Supreme. He had personally placed the Shattered Star Supreme into the coffin at that time. Later, the Shattered Star Supreme returned to the embrace of the Great World Runes with his coffin. The Black Stone Supreme also returned in the end, which made Lin Mo once believe that the Supreme would return after death. The coffin in front of him still exists. Does this mean that the owner of the coffin in front of him is not a Supreme, but a saint, or even the other shore? Apart from that, there seems to be no better explanation. Under the undead vision, there were no living things in the coffin. Could it be that even the coffin has given birth to intelligence? Lin Mo approached, and the coffin suddenly lit up. The coffin was densely covered with runes, and the runes formed a complex rune array. The lid of the coffin slowly opened, and the whole process seemed a bit strange. A handle of sharp swords flew out of the coffin, a full 100 swords, the sharp tips of the swords pointed at Lin Mo. Each sword exuded a vast and ancient aura. They seemed to have experienced countless years of carving, and although they seemed a bit broken, they were still sharp. The swords rang, as if warning Lin Mo not to approach. Even the soul-summoning song seemed to become hurried. Lin Mo could feel the power of these 100 sharp swords. Each sword could easily kill a peak divine venerable. Lin Mo didn't want to test the swords with his own body. In fact, his best choice now is to retreat immediately. Suddenly, he seemed to have a flash of inspiration and began to hum the soul-summoning song. The rhythmic music flew out of his mouth, and his soul heard countless fragmented voices again. It was as if countless people were suddenly talking at the same time next to his soul. Lin Mo endured the feeling and continued to hum the soul-summoning song. Gradually, his voice merged with the vaguely transmitted soul-summoning song. The soul returns. A low shout resounded through the starry sky. Chapter 1924. Other Shore Realm Soul Magic Treasure, Inheritance. The soul returns. The soul returns. A series of low shouts, heavy and filled with sorrow, echoed in the starry sky. The starry sky before my eyes suddenly lit up, and coffins appeared in sight. Tens of thousands of coffins were neatly arranged, forming the shape of a sword. Around the coffins, hundreds of coffins also floated, guarding them like protectors. The lids of the outermost 100 coffins were all opened, and swords flew out from inside. Tens of thousands of swords formed a sword formation, whirling and dancing in the starry sky. The soul returns. The soul returns. Accompanied by the sorrowful sound, the sound of swords grew more and more intense. Lin Mo watched all of this, deeply shocked. Every sentence of, "the soul returns," was the cry of the ancient sages. Even in death, they did not forget to summon the dead, hoping to bring back their lost companions. The sword formation danced in the starry sky, constantly emitting sword sounds. At the same time, Lin Mo received a message. "We are disciples of the Soul Sword Sect. The Soul Sword Sect fought to the death as a sect, never retreating even if the sect is destroyed. The sect master protects us with his remnant soul, burying us in the outer domain. We will constantly chant the soul calling song, hoping that one day, our souls will return and re-enjoy prosperity. May my human race live forever and prosper. May my human race live forever and prosper. May my human race, 650 live forever and prosper." Lin Mo stood in solemn respect, and slowly saluted the sword formation. He did not know what the ancient human race's grand ceremony was like, so he used the highest level etiquette of the current human race to pay tribute to the sages. Lin Mo gave 3 salutes in a row, and then said loudly, "May the human race prosper forever, and all rebellious people must be executed, leaving none behind." As if hearing Lin Mo's words, in the sword formation, among the thousands of coffins, one coffin slowly opened. A sword flew out and instantly came before Lin Mo. The sword hummed, and Lin Mo understood their meaning. He reached out and grasped the sword hilt. "I will take you and eliminate all traitors." Then, with a thought of his soul power, he left his mark on the sword. With a buzz, the sword turned into a stream of light and flew into Lin Mo's brow. In the next second, it had already appeared in Lin Mo's soul world. At the same time, information about this sword entered his soul. Soul Slayer Sword. Type: Soul Magic Treasure. Level: Other Shore Realm. It's actually a soul magic treasure. A soul magic treasure of the Other Shore Realm. Lin Mo didn't expect that his few soul-calling songs and 3 grand salutes would ultimately earn him a soul magic treasure of the Other Shore Realm, a great profit indeed. However, only the human race can obtain such a thing. If it were an alien race, attempting to forcibly break in, the Soul Sword Sect's swords would teach them a lesson. Not to mention a god Venerable, even an Other Shore Realm expert would probably be torn to pieces by 10,000 swords. Lin Mo once again saluted the thousands of coffins. The sword formation collectively retracted, the light faded, and the thousands of coffins once again disappeared into the darkness. Only one coffin still shone with light. Its lid opened a crack, and a piece of purple jade tablet flew out, landing right in Lin Mo's hand. "Though we are dead, the inheritance must not be cut off." In a simple sentence, Lin Mo knew what was in the purple jade tablet. It was the inheritance from the Soul Sword Sect, now handed over to him. Lin Mo said loudly, "Seniors, rest assured, the inheritance will not be cut off." All the coffins disappeared, invisible to the naked eye. Lin Mo knew they were gone, not knowing when they would reappear. Lin Mo checked the purple jade tablet and found that there was indeed an inheritance inside. The inheritance was named Soul Sword, an inheritance that cultivates both soul law and gold law. From the initial transcendent god realm to the highest supreme realm, it was very complete. If a suitable candidate could be found, this would definitely be an extremely powerful and terrifying inheritance. Since ancient times, the human race has experienced several discontinuities. Many powerful inheritances have been lost, and now being able to obtain a powerful inheritance is an extremely exciting thing. The Soul Sword Sect must have been a powerful sect in ancient times. Lin Mo could feel that the owners of those coffins were at least of the Other Shore Realm, and may even have been Saint Venerables and Supremes. From the strength of the Soul Sword Sect alone, one could see the prosperity of the human race in ancient times. Alas, what a pity! Lin Mo sighed softly and set off again. After another 10 days, another 100 million skeleton god generals were released. Finally, a skeleton god general sent back unusual information. They encountered a mountain. In the barren outer domain space, there would actually be a mountain. Lin Mo marked the spot and immediately rushed over. Only when he got close did Lin Mo realize that this was not a mountain at all. It was actually a star, a crippled star. A sword had slashed across the star, forcibly cutting a star into a mountain. Although the sword only slashed across the surface, the terrifying power had already invaded the interior of the star, and this star was dead. This star should also be like the red star, giving birth to intelligence. It is no longer a star, but a starry sky behemoth. Unfortunately, it is dead. Lin Mo sighed softly, and was about to leave when suddenly his soul heard a soft sound. Bang! It was a sound similar to a heartbeat, especially clear in the dark and quiet starry sky. His footsteps stopped, and he activated his undead vision, but found nothing. He switched to his soul eye again, seeing countless law lines passing through the star, but still found nothing. Lin Mo couldn't help but wonder if he had really misheard. Bang! Another soft sound. This time Lin Mo was sure he hadn't misheard. Go and see. A large number of skeleton god generals flew over, flying into the star. Having experienced a great battle, the star was full of cracks, forming massive canyons, the interior resembling a maze. The skeleton divine general flew into it, searching for the correct path. During this time, a bang could be heard every so often. After searching for half a day, the skeleton divine general finally found the correct path. A map also formed in Lin Moyu's mind. Along the way, the skeleton divine general did not encounter any danger, but Lin Moyu remained cautious. Many cultivators die in the extraterritorial lands every year, and the extraterritorial lands are not safe. Following the correct path, Lin Moyu advanced through the winding maze, entering the center of the star. Bang! The sound, like a heartbeat, became more and more obvious. Finally, Lin Moyu arrived at the end point reached by the skeleton divine general. This is a barrier. What appeared before him was a barrier, and barriers are unique to the demon race. The appearance of a barrier here means that there are demons present. Many demon cultivators enter the extraterritorial lands every year, so their appearance here is not surprising. Lin Moyu understood that the barrier was blocking the undead's vision. Something was hidden inside the barrier, and what it was would only be clear upon entering it. Judging by the strength of the barrier, the demon who set it up should be a divine lord. As long as it's not the other shore realm, it'll be easy to handle. Lin Moyu's body radiated purple gold light, and with the purple gold body driven to its limit, he threw a punch. Pure physical attack, one punch breaks all laws. With one punch, the barrier rumbled and trembled continuously. Immediately after, Lin Moyu threw punch after punch, each one hitting home. Perhaps having stayed in the dark starry sky for too long, Lin Moyu had a sense of venting at this moment. In just 2 seconds, thousands of punches were thrown, and while the barrier was not shattered, it made Lin Moyu feel good. Then, the skeleton divine general followed up, unleashing endless sword energy onto the barrier. After holding on for a few seconds, the barrier shattered with a bang. Courting death, a demon with an icy blue body like crystal rushed out from behind the barrier, its entire body bristling like fur, spewing out countless streams of cold air. The entire space was instantly frozen, and a thick layer of ice formed on Lin Moyu and the skeleton divine general. Chapter 1925. He is only qualified to be a test subject. Lin Moyu and the skeleton divine general were instantly frozen into ice. The icy blue demon looked at Lin Moyu coldly. Daring to come here with just divine lord first order, courting death. Suddenly, his pupils shrank and he quickly retreated. The ice block exploded, and Lin Moyu, surrounded by purple gold light, walked out completely unharmed. Frost Shadow Demon, Divine Lord 9th Order. Lin Moyu stated his identity in an extremely calm tone. In the demon lineage, Frost Shadow Demons and Hellfire Demons are opposing branches. The two demons are not on good terms, but both are very powerful in combat and belong to the main battle class within the demon race. Frost Shadow Demons are born with the ability to control ice, and after adulthood, they directly master the ice-type laws. Even without cultivation, they can at least become true gods. With a little cultivation, becoming a divine king is not a problem, and becoming a divine lord is not difficult either. However, these powerful races have the same problem, which is that it is difficult to achieve the other shore realm. As far as Lin Moyu knows, among the demons, only one Frost Shadow Demon has reached the other shore realm, while there are quite a few Divine Lord 9th Order demons. The Frost Shadow Demon looked at Lin Moyu. You are not Divine Lord First Order. Lin Moyu's gaze fell behind him. You are here for it, aren't you? Behind the Frost Shadow Demon, there was a transparent box, and inside the box was a peculiar gemstone. The peculiar gemstone emitted 10,000 colors, and the feeling was like the water of myriad colors, encompassing all the colors in the world. Any color you can imagine can be found in the gemstone. Moreover, it was even more magical than the water of myriad colors. If you look at white, and concentrate your attention, the gemstone you see will be white. If you want to see black, then you can see black. If you don't think about anything, or when your attention is scattered, then the gemstone will show all kinds of colors. Lin Moyu's attention was instantly drawn to this gemstone, and it was already too late for the Frost Shadow Demon to stop him. At this moment, the gemstone vibrated slightly again. Bang! A crisp sound rang out, and without the barrier's obstruction, the heartbeat-like sound became clearer. The moment he saw the blue gemstone, Lin Moyu's heart skipped a beat, and joy bloomed in his eyes. It's actually here. The Staff of Calamity has 5 gemstones, and only the Soul Gem is currently in hand. This peculiar gemstone in front of him is exactly the same as the Soul Gem. The moment Lin Moyu saw it, he recognized its identity. Like the Soul Gem, it is also a part of the Staff of Calamity. The Frost Shadow Demon noticed the change in Lin Moyu's expression, and his expression became extremely gloomy, with coldness surging wildly. This is mine. He gritted his teeth and let out an angry roar. Heaven and earth began to freeze, stars were frozen, and thick white mist appeared in the starry sky. The temperature of the mist was extremely low, and touching it meant death. Lin Moyu's entire body was shrouded in purple gold light, and his purple gold body shone brightly, blocking the cold air. Having found the gemstone belonging to the Staff of Calamity, Lin Moyu was in a good mood, and his tone became lighter. Kill you, and it will be mine. You're courting death. The Frost Shadow Demon roared, and the river of laws appeared above his head, with icy laws pouring down towards Lin Moyu. The river of laws also appeared beneath Lin Moyu's feet, and the river of undying laws stirred up waves, resisting the cold air. Although Lin Moyu is strong, he is only Divine Lord First Order after all. Realm is different from combat power, and relying solely on the river of laws is not enough to block the Frost Shadow Demon. A small, delicate sword appeared above his head, the other Shore Realm soul magic weapon he had just obtained recently, the soul-slaying sword. Let's test the power of this magic weapon. Other Shore Realm magic weapons are difficult to activate with a Divine Lord Realm soul. But Lin Moyu's soul is already at the other Shore Realm. Although his soul power is insufficient, activating it should not be a problem, but how much power it can unleash is unknown. Lin Moyu was also purely curious, and subconsciously used the Frost Shadow Demon as a test subject. However, a thing of the Frost Shadow Demon's level is only worthy of being a test subject. Soul power was injected into the soul-slaying sword, and the soul-slaying sword bloomed with purple light, releasing the might of another Shore Realm soul magic weapon. The pressure of the other Shore Realm swept out, and the Frost Shadow Demon's face changed drastically. Other Shore Realm soul magic weapon. Impossible. How could you possibly activate another Shore Realm soul magic weapon? Lin Moyu was in a good mood and chuckled. Nothing is impossible. The soul-slaying sword flickered for a moment and disappeared instantly. It pierced into the Frost Shadow Demon's soul world at an alarming speed. Ah! Amidst the earth-shattering screams, the Frost Shadow Demon hugged his head, his entire body curled up on the ground in pain. Then, Lin Moyu heard a soft sound, like the sound of glass breaking. The Frost Shadow Demon was no longer moving and had already died. His soul world was shattered, his soul annihilated, and it was impossible for him to live. The soul-slaying sword easily killed the Frost Shadow Demon, and then returned to Lin Moyu's hand. The power is good. I have another trump card. When I reach the other Shore Realm, the power of the soul-slaying sword should be even stronger. It's just a pity that I can't practice the inheritance of the Soul Sword sect. At most, I can only exert 60 to 70% of its power. If you want to exert the full power of the soul-slaying sword, you also need the inheritance of the Soul Sword sect to cooperate. Lin Moyu thought for a while and muttered to himself, if I can find a suitable candidate, then I will give the soul-slaying sword to him as well. The inheritance of the sages cannot be broken. Lin Moyu held respect for the sages of the human race. If he had the opportunity, he would definitely let the inheritance of the Soul Sword sect be carried forward again. He casually put away the corpse of the frost nether demon, and Lin Moyu came to the transparent box. The gem was inside the transparent box. It seems that you can get the gem just by opening the transparent box, but there is no opening on the transparent box, so it cannot be opened at all. Lin Moyu's observation could not find the opening, then there is no opening. Then the remaining method is to break it, but it must not be easy to break. If it could be easily broken, the frost nether demon would have succeeded long ago. The frost nether demon must have been here for a long time, but he has not been able to break the transparent box. If Ida's not breaking it, then how do I get it? Lin Moyu's first reaction was to use his soul power. He regarded the transparent box as a magic weapon and communicated with it with his soul. As soon as his soul touched the transparent box, it was shaken away, and the communication failed. This is not a magic weapon, so there is no way to communicate. Lin Moyu stretched out his hand and tried to touch the transparent box. With a bang, his palm was shaken away. Lin Moyu saw a wound on his palm. Purple golden blood was rolling under the wound, but it did not flow out. Just now, he felt an unimaginable sharpness, not the law, but the power of the gold element, cutting open the defense of the purple gold body like a sharp sword and hurting his palm. If he hadn't retracted his hand fast enough, his entire palm would have been cut off directly. Soft methods don't work, so let's try hard ones. Lin Moyu took out the golden sword and slashed it fiercely on the transparent box. He didn't worry about damaging the gem in the box at all. If the gem belonging to the staff of natural disaster was so easily damaged, then it would not be worthy of being a component of the staff of natural disaster. Boom! In the loud noise, the golden sword was bounced high, and a huge force was transmitted through the sword body, shaking Lin Moyu uncontrollably backwards and hitting the rock wall. The entire star shook violently, and countless cracks appeared on the rock wall, as if it was about to collapse. Lin Moyu was horrified. The transparent box was unscathed, but a gap appeared on the golden sword. The golden sword is not as hard as it. Chapter 1926. Getting old, the brain doesn't work well. Lin Moyu was stunned on the spot. The golden sword was the sword of a supreme-level powerhouse from the Black Blood Great World. Although it is not clear what grade it is, its sturdiness is beyond doubt. After millions of years of polishing, it still maintains its sharpness and is no less than the magic weapon of the Holy Venerable. In addition, with the blessing of the Heavenly Saint Venerable's golden rules, its sturdiness should be even higher. But now, this small and inconspicuous transparent box has actually caused the golden sword to crack. Oh, what the hell is this? Lin Moyu was very shocked. He couldn't imagine the form in which the box existed. The hand cannot touch it, and the purple gold body blocks the sharpness of the box. If you forcibly touch it, your hand will definitely be cut into pieces. Using the golden sword to chop it, it is fine, but the golden sword has cracked. Lin Moyu felt a pound and a 1/4. It's no wonder that the frost nether demon couldn't do anything about it. Even something that made him headache, giving the mere frost nether demon a few thousand more years would be useless. Lin Moyu stood still, glaring at the box, and fell into deep thought. There must be a way to open the box. Soft methods don't work, and hard methods don't work either. Soul communication doesn't work, and physical attacks don't work either. Thinking about it, he couldn't think of a good way for a while, so he could only try little by little. The soul shooting arrow appeared above his head, and a purple soul arrow condensed. He wanted to try if soul attacks would work. However, just as the purple soul arrow was about to shoot out, Lin Moyu took it back, and the purple soul arrow also dissipated. He handed the soul shooting bow to the skeleton god general. Brother, please, he muttered in his heart, and entrusted this great task to the skeleton god general. The skeleton god general obeyed the order and injected soul power into the soul shooting bow, recondensing the soul arrow. However, the skeleton god general was obviously not very compatible with the soul shooting bow, and the soul arrow that was condensed looked very weak. The soul arrow swooshed into the void and shot directly at the transparent box. The transparent box suddenly burst into strong light, and an even more powerful soul arrow shot back. The golden armor rune emerged, and the skeleton god general put on a layer of golden armor, majestic and awe-inspiring. It was a E0.1 section. The soul arrow arrived, and the golden armor collapsed with a bang. This poor skeleton god general died on the spot. Fortunately, with the undead spirit spell, the newly dead skeleton god general was resurrected in the same place in the next second. Lin Moyu sighed, "I'm sorry, brother." The transparent box, as he thought, would reflect all attacks, including soul attacks. And the reflected attack would be stronger than before, several times stronger. If this arrow had been shot by himself, he would have had to die once. Just in case, he let the skeleton god general try it for himself. The result was as he thought, the skeleton god general died. It seems that hard methods really don't work. Let's try again. Lin Moyu did not give up. He had already thought of several ways before. If one didn't work, he would change to another. With a point of his finger, the bone hell appeared. The bone hell enveloped the transparent box, and the flames of hell burned fiercely, engulfing the transparent box. Hellish fiends poured out frantically, opening their mouths and showing their fangs, gnawing at the transparent box. The transparent box was unscathed under the flames of hell, the teeth of the hellish fiends broke, and they were all shattered by the shock. The bone hell failed and had no effect. Lin Moyu was not disappointed. If the bone hell didn't work, then he would continue to change. The log galaxy appeared under his feet, and then poured down on the transparent box like a waterfall. The log galaxy changed from gray and white to gray, and the power of death that could corrode everything fell on the box. The transparent box suddenly appeared with mist and made a sizzling sound. It works. Lin Moyu could clearly feel that the undead law was corroding it. He finally found a way to deal with the transparent box, but gradually, the joy in Lin Moyu's eyes disappeared. The power of death could indeed corrode the box, but the speed of corrosion was very slow, very slow. Moreover, Lin Moyu found that the transparent box could actually repair itself. The little bit that had just been corroded was restored in the blink of an eye. If this continued, even after another 1,000 years, it would not be able to corrode it completely. Oh, what the hell is this thing? Lin Mo gritted his teeth, hardened his heart, and pointed his finger at the box. White star skill, curse of time. A red light flashed, and a red arrow appeared on the box. Time suddenly accelerated, and the power of the curse fully erupted. Then Lin Mo groaned miserably, his soul instantly suffered a lot of damage and was severely injured. Even the power of the curse can be reflected. Lin Mo was really a little helpless, the transparent box was really impervious to both soft and hard tactics. Nothing soft or hard worked. The man in the box returned to their staring contest again. All kinds of methods were used, but none of them worked, and he didn't know what to do. Looking at the gem in the transparent box, Lin Mo felt a little like gazing at the ocean in despair. After thinking for a long time, a flash of inspiration suddenly struck, and Lin Mo slapped his head, "I'm really stupid." The next second, the Scourge Scepter appeared in his hand. Looking at the Scourge Scepter, Lin Mo smiled wryly, laughing at himself for being too stupid. He had thought of all kinds of methods, but he hadn't thought of this thing. The Scourge Scepter was the hardest of all his treasures. The Scourge Scepter was not a soul treasure, although it could be used in the soul, it could also be used outside. If even this doesn't work, then there's really no way. Lin Mo raised the Scourge Scepter, and his violet gold body shone brightly. The Scourge Scepter was very special, no one but him could hold it. For anyone else, the Scourge Scepter was like a non-existent thing. Holding the Scourge Scepter tightly, he smashed it down. With a loud bang, he didn't feel any backlash, nor did any force counterattack. A large number of cracks appeared on the transparent box, and then it collapsed with a bang. The transparent fragments exploded, turning into bursts of smoke, dissipating into the space, and disappearing without a trace. Looking at the transparent box that shattered so easily, Lin Mo was speechless for a while. He felt that he was really stupid, he had to go around in a big circle for a problem that could be solved so easily. Is it because I'm getting old, and my head is not working well? Lin Mo mocked himself again, and reached out to take the gem. The moment he grasped the gem, it bloomed with myriad colors, as if a treasure that had been sleeping for countless years had awakened at this moment. A terrifying light bloomed from the gem, containing all the colors imaginable. All the colors in the world intertwined at this moment. Lin Mo felt an unprecedented elemental storm, and also felt countless laws roaring. The light of the elemental gem pierced through the stars, and the entire star exploded. In the incomparably dark outer space, a light brighter than a star lit up. Hundreds of millions of miles of starry sky were flashing, not the starry sky itself was glowing, but the lines of law covering the starry sky were glowing. They were calling, incomparably cheerful, incomparably excited, as if welcoming the return of a king. Hundreds of millions of miles of starry sky became colorful, filled with various colors, beautiful and enchanting. Each color represents a law. Countless colors represent countless laws. This gem gathered countless laws. In this instant, Lin Mo knew the name of the gem. Elemental gem, a great thing containing almost all laws. Chapter 1927, Space-type starry sky beast. Scourge scepter, 5 gems, this one is the elemental gem. Lin Mo felt the power of the elemental gem and solemnly placed it on the scourge scepter. It quickly merged into the scourge scepter, coming to the side of the soul gem. It was closely connected to the soul gem, like a whole. Lin Mo comprehended the information from the elemental gem, pondered its function, and muttered to himself. The elemental gem is the barrier of all elemental laws, which can amplify all elemental laws, and can also be used to comprehend various elemental laws. Only physical laws and some special laws are not affected by it. Even if I don't understand elemental laws, I can use it to manipulate various elements. It cannot be used to cast spells, but if it is used to draw runes, it will greatly increase the power of the runes. He looked at the scourge scepter. What level of existence are you? Just 2 gems are enough to surpass most magic weapons. Lin Mo felt that even the magic weapons used by those supreme beings in ancient times were not as good as the scourge scepter. It should be said that the two were not comparable at all, far from it. The scourge scepter glowed and eventually returned to calm. It turned into an unremarkable appearance again, neither gorgeous nor exquisite, and even incomplete. At first glance, it was unremarkable, not even a magic weapon. Lin Mo knew that the scourge scepter had not been repaired. There are 5 core gems, and now 3 are missing. Only when all 5 core gems are found and reintegrated can the scourge scepter truly exert its power. Soul gem, elemental gem, what will the other 3 gems be? I guess, one of them should be a physical gem. After all, there is an elemental gem, and there should also be a physical one. Lin Mo guessed in his heart, and put the scourge scepter back. The star had collapsed, and he was back in the starry sky. Hundreds of millions of miles of starry sky no longer shone and began to return to calm. Before long, the outer space became dark and deep again. Lin Mo was in a very good mood at the moment. This accidental stray into the outer space not only saw the red star, obtained the soul-slaying sword and the soul sword sect inheritance, but also obtained the elemental gem. This time, it was a blessing, not a disaster, worth it. Stepping out again, he embarked on the road home again. Suddenly, he frowned. The skeleton god general he placed in the starry sky for positioning disappeared. Not killed, but disappeared. He couldn't sense the skeleton god general, but the seat of the skeleton god general was not vacant. Lin Mo quickened his pace, wanting to know what happened. This situation had happened before. One was that the distance was too far, and the second was that the two sides entered different worlds. Just as Lin Mo accelerated his return, the seat of the skeleton god general suddenly became vacant. Dead, that skeleton god general was killed. Because he couldn't sense the other party, undead spirit would not work, and the skeleton god general had no chance to resurrect. Dead, that was really dead. Lin Mo frowned. He hadn't sensed the skeleton god general resisting at all. Everything happened very abruptly. Before long, Lin Mo returned to the place where the skeleton god general disappeared. Without positioning, the location he returned to was not very accurate, but it was probably not bad. The difference would not exceed 100,000 kilometers. 100,000 kilometers is a very short distance in the starry sky. The speed of the god Venerable is only half a second. For him, it was just a slight movement of his feet. The starry sky was calm, and there seemed to be nothing. Undead vision and soul eye were used alternately, but no discoveries were made. What exactly is going on? Lin Moyu thought to himself, but his eyes didn't stop searching. The starry sky was still dark and calm, and nothing could be seen. With a thought, a large number of skeleton divine generals appeared, flying out in all directions. The skeleton divine generals emitted a pure white light, illuminating the limited starry sky and bringing a touch of brightness. The undead vision and soul eye were alternately activated, and Lin Moyu observed this starry sky. Everything has a source, and Lin Moyu never believed that anything happened without a reason. As long as the source could be found, it could be cracked. Suddenly, several more skeleton divine generals disappeared. These skeleton divine generals were walking side by side, with a distance of no more than 1,000 meters between them. They disappeared at the same time. Here, Lin Moyu's eyes moved, and at the moment the skeleton divine general disappeared, he saw a trace of soul fire. The soul fire was very weak, but it was still captured. After waiting for about half a minute, the disappeared skeleton divine generals died at the same time. The situation was exactly the same as before, and they died silently. The whole process was strange. Just a faint trace of soul fire could not determine the specific situation, and Lin Moyu decided to try again. Another group of skeleton divine generals flew over, passing through the place where they had disappeared before, but they were safe and sound and did not disappear. Lin Moyu ordered them to fly back and forth, and there was no problem. There can be no problem. Lin Moyu thought to himself, everything happens at least twice. After another 5 minutes, these skeleton divine generals disappeared again, disappearing very abruptly, without any prelude. Fortunately, Lin Moyu did not give up, he had been observing all the time. This time, he finally found a clue. It was still the faint soul fire, but in addition to the soul fire, Lin Moyu also saw a slight fluctuation in space. It was as if a gap was suddenly pulled out of the space, and then the gap was quickly pulled up again. The whole process did not exceed 0.1 seconds. It was in this 0.1 second that the skeleton divine general in the gap disappeared. With a little more information, Lin Moyu quickly analyzed. There is soul fire, which means there are creatures in it. However, the soul fire is very weak, which means that this creature is not strong, or it may be that I didn't see it clearly enough, and only saw a part of it. Cracks appear in the space, indicating that this creature can manipulate space. 050, a creature that can manipulate space, is it some kind of starry sky behemoth? Besides the starry sky giant tree, what other starry sky behemoth can manipulate space? This kind of starry sky behemoth should be very rare. His soul seems not strong, but how can he easily kill the skeleton divine general? The skeleton divine general is protected by the golden armor talisman, and it is not easy to be killed. There is an obvious contradiction before and after. Just as Lin Moyu was thinking, the skeleton divine general died again, and their seats were vacated. The time from disappearance to death was exactly half a minute, no more, no less. It shows that the damage the skeleton divine general suffered inside is very stable. Lin Moyu's knowledge base does not have information on this starry sky behemoth, and he doesn't know its real situation. He sent out the skeleton divine general again, intending to continue checking. In fact, Lin Moyu knew very well that if he wanted to be safe, he should leave immediately and not get entangled with it. But the opponent's ability to manipulate space firmly attracted him. In fact, many starry sky behemoths are excellent cultivation materials. The kind of starry sky behemoth that is born with a certain law will often leave a corresponding crystal nucleus after death. Through these crystal nuclei, one can comprehend the law. Like the starry sky giant tree, he is the hunting target of many races of cultivators, but it is a pity that he is too strong, and the law of space gives him extremely strong self-preservation ability, so the races have never been able to hunt him. Now there is a starry sky behemoth in front of him that may master the law of space, how can he not be tempted? Chapter 1928. Broken Rule World. Lin Moyu repeatedly experimented and obtained more and more information. This guy, suspected to be a starry sky behemoth, opens a space crack every 5 minutes. This time point is very fixed, and the error will not exceed 5 seconds. The existence of errors is a good thing, and it can better prove that the other party is a living being. And several times, Lin Moyu deliberately deviated the skeleton divine general in some directions, and as a result, the other party could accurately find the position of the skeleton divine general. It shows that he has enough observation of the starry sky. The skeleton divine general will lose contact when it is swallowed, indicating that the other party's mouth is in another layer of space, a space completely isolated from the real world. The skeleton divine general will die 35 seconds after being swallowed. This time is basically fixed, and the difference will not exceed 3 seconds. In other words, the attacks suffered by the skeleton divine general are the same, no matter how many there are, they are the same. During the attempt, Lin Moyu summoned a new skeleton divine general, but did not integrate the golden armor talisman. The result was that the skeleton divine general only lasted 5 seconds after being swallowed. Whether there is a golden armor talisman or not, there is a difference of about 30 seconds. Lin Moyu roughly calculated the opponent's attack power, which should be around the 9th rank of the Divine Lord. This level of attack power is not a big threat to him. During this period, Lin Moyu also used Bone Hell, trying to lock the opponent from the air. But Bone Hell did not work, the other party just opened a space crack and did not attack. So Bone Hell could not lock it. After more than a dozen consecutive experiments, Lin Moyu decided to go in himself. He was bold and confident in his strength. In this case, he would never be willing if he didn't go in. Lin Moyu came to the place where the skeleton divine general disappeared and waited quietly. Time passed second by second, and when it came to the 5th minute, Lin Moyu felt a slight spatial fluctuation. The spatial fluctuation was not strong, and it was controlled very skillfully, only concentrated in a section of space. As long as it was a little far away, it would not be felt. Lin Moyu sighed in his heart that he was not as good as this spatial control ability. A space crack appeared under his feet, and the whole person was immediately wrapped in another layer of space. The whole process was fast, gentle, and not at all aggressive. By the time he reacted, Lin Moyu had disappeared from the normal space. The picture in front of Lin Moyu jumped, and he found that he had come to another space. Under the undead vision, a soul fire could be seen burning. The soul fire is not strong, the 9th rank of the Divine Lord, not reaching the other shore. Lin Moyu was greatly relieved. It was slightly stronger than what he observed outside, but as long as it didn't reach the other shore, it was nothing. An energy storm broke out in the space, countless cracks appeared in the space, and space blades flew out of the cracks, densely hitting him, as if to dismember him. At the same time, a binding force acted on him, preventing him from dodging and escaping. The space blade is not strong, equivalent to the attack of the 9th rank of the Divine Lord, which is similar to the previous judgment. Lin Moyu's whole body was flickering with purple gold light, resisting the space blade. The attack of the 9th rank of the Divine Lord is neither strong nor weak. The purple gold body cannot last too long, but with damage transfer in place, Lin Moyu can last for a long, long time. Unfortunately, space attacks are neither elemental nor physical, and the 2 major resistance passive spells cannot reduce their damage. It also needs the Legion Ruler to heal, so that Lin Moyu can be in a safe state for a long time. Lin Moyu looked at this space. It was a seemingly desolate space. Apart from the soul fire in the sky, there was nothing special about the entire space. Lin Moyu moved slightly, and its spatial law flowed on his body, breaking free from the shackles of space. The best way to deal with the law of space is the law of space. Lin Moyu stepped into this space and strode forward in the space. The soul fire in the sky shook violently. It seemed very surprised by Lin Moyu's performance and did not understand why Lin Moyu could break free from the shackles of space. In fact, this spatial restraint is enough to restrain the peak Divine Lord. It could even affect the other shore realm, at least making it difficult for those in the other shore realm to move freely here. But Lin Moyu was different. He himself could wield some spatial laws, though still shallow, but enough to resist this binding force. Although he broke free from the restraint, the spatial blades continued to strike him, causing continuous damage. The violet gold body shattered after enduring for 10 seconds, and the spatial blades began to directly bombard him. But all attacks disappeared like a clay ox entering the sea. Lin Moyu was like a bottomless pit, continuously absorbing the damage. The entire Undead Legion shared the damage for Lin Moyu, and Lin Moyu would not be injured at all before they were all dead. Lin Moyu strode forward in this space. The space here was different from the outside world. He could not travel millions of miles in one step, but could only measure it honestly. Fortunately, this space was not large, and it would not take long to traverse it. Feeling the aura of this space, Lin Moyu vaguely had a guess. A minute later, a repulsive force suddenly arose, and this repulsive force clearly wanted to drive him out. That feeling was like eating something indigestible and wanting to vomit it out. Lin Moyu was the indigestible thing. He used the laws of space to fight against the repulsive force, while sneering, "It's easy to invite a god, but hard to send him away. It's not that easy to make me leave. So many skeleton god generals have been killed by me, it's not enough without paying some price." The soul flames in the sky obviously began to become agitated, jumping more violently, and the repulsive force and space storm were enhanced, but it was still useless against Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu was like a nail, stuck here, neither able to be driven away nor digested. And it wouldn't be long before he could draw blood from it. Lin Moyu's feeling for this space became clearer and clearer, until he saw something similar to a stone tablet, and completely confirmed his guess. Rule Stone Tablet. This is indeed a rule world left by a saint venerable or supreme. And this expert has some knowledge of the laws of space. In ancient times, there were experts in the human race who comprehended the laws of space, and there was more than one person. The natal laws of these experts may not have been the laws of space, but they all had some knowledge of the laws of space, which was much stronger than in this era. Those supreme or saint venerables integrated the laws of space into their own rule worlds. They died on the battlefield, and the rule worlds disintegrated. After countless years, the rule world itself gave birth to intelligence. Coincidentally, this broken rule world was the one that integrated the laws of space. After the birth of intelligence, the rule world underwent a series of evolutions, and eventually became in existence like a star behemoth. The Rule Stone Tablet is the best proof. There are many Rule Stone Tablets in the rule world. The Rule Stone Tablet often records the laws and rules comprehended by its owner. In ancient times, there were also experts who allowed their disciples and descendants to enter the rule world and use the Rule Stone Tablet for comprehension. It's a pity that this rule world is already broken. Although it has the laws of space, it is still not strong enough after the birth of intelligence, and it is still a line worse than the peak of the god Venerable. Lin Moyu found the Rule Stone Tablet, and the soul flames in the sky became even more manic. Lin Moyu ignored it, feeling the Rule Stone Tablet. There were some insights into the laws of space in the stone tablet. Good. With a sound of good, a look of joy appeared in Lin Moyu's eyes. These spatial laws were very useful to him. At this moment, the entire space vibrated violently. Chapter 1929. Please don't explode yourself so easily. A large number of cracks appeared in the space, and behind the cracks were massive space storms. Lin Moyu felt the aura of the deep space, and it seemed that another space turbulence was brewing. This thing is going to explode itself. What kind of temper is this? I didn't want to do anything to you, why are you exploding yourself at every turn? Lin Moyu really didn't want to do anything to it. This was a rule world left by an ancient supreme or saint venerable, and it could be regarded as the remains of the human race's predecessors. Lin Moyu didn't want to do anything to the remains of the human race's predecessors. He just wanted to comprehend the remaining spatial laws through the Rule Stone Tablet. Then he would leave, and he would not care about the previous swallowing of the skeleton god general. The other party's reaction surprised Lin Moyu very much, and it was so intense. It was born from the rule world, and Lin Moyu couldn't help but guess whether the owner of the rule world, the ancient expert, was also so staunch in temper. Exploding at the slightest disagreement was definitely a great man. Lin Moyu even suspected that he had died by self-destruction back then. Alas! With a sigh, Lin Moyu had no choice but to take action. He didn't want to experience another space turbulence. This time, he was lucky. Next time, who knows where he would be swept to. If he really entered the depths of the extraterrestrial space, without anyone to guide him, he might get completely lost in it. I'm sorry. Silently chanting in his heart, the soul-slaying sword appeared above his head. Soul power surged, and the soul-slaying sword pierced into the soul flame like light. Lin Moyu heard a whimper, and the violent vibration stopped instantly. The soul flame was still burning, but it was much weaker than before. Lin Moyu didn't kill it. It was a pity to kill the intelligence that had been born with great difficulty. As long as it was quiet and didn't explode itself, Lin Moyu didn't mind letting it go. It was indeed much quieter, but it was only quiet for less than 10 seconds. The already weakened soul flame began to burn fiercely again, and the space began to vibrate violently again. And it seemed to be more chaotic than before. Countless cracks appeared, and deep space turbulence was pouring in frantically from the cracks. Lin Moyu knew that he could no longer be soft-hearted. He pointed his finger, and a red light flashed. White star-level spell. Curse of Time. The curse of time broke out, the soul wailed incessantly, and the self-destruction was interrupted. Then the soul-slaying sword was activated again, this time with greater power and more amazing destructive power. The soul's wailing became more and more intense, and the screams continued. Lin Moyu continued to inject soul power, and the soul-slaying sword slashed out one sword after another, attacking with unparalleled sharpness. Unlike the soul-shooting arrow, one arrow was just one arrow. Once the soul-slaying sword was released, as long as the soul power was continuous, its attack would continue. The wailing gradually weakened, but Lin Moyu felt that the anger contained in the soul flame was becoming more and more intense. The rule world was still shaking. Needless to say, as long as it was given a chance to recover, it would continue to explode itself. Seeing this, Lin Moyu had no choice but to truly kill it. If he could, Lin Moyu really wanted to let it go, but it didn't appreciate it. Lin Moyu was also very helpless with this temper. Finally, under the attack of the soul-slaying sword, the soul flame was completely extinguished. The rule world also quieted down, and Lin Moyu could feel that the vitality in the rule world was rapidly disappearing. This broken rule world once again became a world without life. If left unattended, perhaps many years later, a new intelligence could be born here, or it might never be born. What was done was done. Lin Moyu was not a hesitant person. Since he had already taken action, he would not regret it. He refocused his attention on the rule stone tablet and began to comprehend the remaining spatial laws. After comprehending for a while, he took out the ancient gold that Yan Lao had refined for him, used the curse of time, and began to comprehend the law of time. Lin Moyu tried his best to ensure that the laws of time and space progressed side by side, but unfortunately the law of space had already taken a big lead. However, Lin Moyu did not give up his ideas, and would still take the time to comprehend the law of time. The stones of other mountains can be used to polish jade. After comprehending a section of the law of space, looking back at the law of time, there may be new progress. ACCH. Time and space, in Lin Moyu's eyes, are laws that are somewhat related. Both are at the top of the first tier, with certain commonalities that can be used for mutual reference. Comprehending them together may be more effective than focusing on one alone. In the continuous comprehension, time passed little by little. In the central temple of the divine city, the four holy venerables gathered together. Heavenly Holy Venerable, How Holy Venerable, and War Holy Venerable were listening to Symbol Holy Venerable recounting the recent situation. The Shu family, through their own means, had collected a large amount of intelligence information, and all of it was about recent events. The human race's internal investigation is nearing its end, and more than 80% of the personnel have undergone the triple test of the symbol array, the truth testing pill, and the Great World Oath. If after the triple test, they still haven't been found, it can only be said that such people are hiding too deeply, and there is no good way to deal with them. What cannot be guaranteed, at least among the human race's divine venerable realm and above, there will be no spirit-devouring race. In another 5 to 10 years, all investigations will be completed. 20 years have passed since the spirit-devouring race incident broke out. The human race originally planned to complete the investigation of all situations within the race in about 15 years. Originally, everything was going smoothly, but later Lin Moyu disappeared, and the Death Dragon Knights simultaneously lost their ability to act. They couldn't sense Lin Moyu, so they entered a state of hibernation, motionless. Unless someone attacked them, they would instinctively fight back, and once they fought back, it would be a fight to the death. It was this situation that slowed down the original plan. Now it seems that the human race will probably take 25 to 30 years to fully complete the investigation. This also shows the importance of Lin Moyu. However, because of the existence of the Death Dragon Knights, the Holy Venerables can all determine that Lin Moyu is not dead, he is still alive. They guessed that Lin Moyu might have been stranded in the outer space, and would be able to return one day. Over the years, many things have happened. First of all, the 3 silver race is having a very miserable time. The various races confirmed the news released by the human race, that there were no holy venerables in the 3 silver race, and the few remaining other shores were seriously injured, and 8 or 9 out of 10 divine venerables had died. So the various small races began to cautiously probe, and then transformed into openly attacking. Without high-end combat power, the 3 silver race was completely defeated and quickly collapsed. A large number of starfields were occupied, and countless clansmen died. The 3 silver race began a great escape, with the few remaining strongmen in the clan leading the clansmen to escape. Seemingly afraid of the 3 silver race taking revenge in the future, the various small races pursued and killed them very fiercely, vowing to exterminate the 3 silver race. Especially some small races that were usually oppressed and bullied by the 3 silver race, this time were especially fierce. 2 years after the small races took action, several large races also began to take action to divide up the territory. When they took action, they were even more ruthless, and many fleeing 3 silver race were also killed, which also announced that the Three Silver race had completely bid farewell to the Great World stage. In addition to the Three Silver race incident, those small races that occupied the Three Silver race's territory announced that they would join forces and advance and retreat together. Only in this way could they firmly occupy these star fields and use the resources in the star field to slowly develop. In addition, there are some not small things. The Demon race and the Golden Eagle race announced the formation of an alliance. Chapter 1930. The Law of Space can only belong to us. The changes in the Great World domain have nothing to do with Lin Mo Yu. He has been in the broken world of rules for a full 5 years. 5 years have given him a new understanding of the law of space. He feels that he is about to truly enter the door, and even the law of time has finally had a little movement. Before, he had touched some of the fur of the law of space, and the law of time had only touched the very top of the fur, that trace of position. But now, the law of space is beginning to touch the real flesh and blood from the fur. The law of time has also made progress, and is beginning to touch a trace of fur. The progress of the two laws is still very different, and the law of space is much ahead. At the same time, Lin Mo Yu also discovered that his idea was indeed correct. As the understanding of the law of space deepens, it does indeed help the law of time. Lin Mo Yu sat in front of the rule steel for a full 5 years, his breath constantly fluctuating, and each fluctuation would drive the surrounding space to vibrate, and a layered wave would rise. His control over space is getting higher and more natural. In the soul world, Lin Mo Yu's soul is also vibrating with the space waves. The space where the soul world is located is too mysterious, boundless, and has no end. But it still has a concept of space, and can also sense the existence of space. Finally, Lin Mo Yu comprehended all the content in the rule steel. The soul world suddenly shook, the soul opened its eyes, and the Lost Star River emerged. The undying Lost Star River, like a great river, rolls in from an unknown void and flows to an unknown place. But at this moment, a new Lost Star River appeared beside the undying Lost Star River. The Lost Star River has a illusory and hazy color, and is translucent. On the surface, it is calm and peaceful, forming a sharp contrast with the undying law. But Lin Mo Yu can clearly feel that its interior is turbulent and surging. Space Lost Star River. The soul uttered a clear voice, with a hint of excitement in the voice. The appearance of the Space Lost Star River represents that his space law has truly entered the door. Beside the wide Space Lost Star River, there is also a small tributary, which is the space law he now masters. According to the ratio, his control over the space law is only about 10%. Beside the Space Lost Star River, in addition to his own small tributary, Lin Mo Yu also saw several tributaries. These tributaries are of different thicknesses, lengths, and lengths. Each tributary represents a cultivator of the space law. There are quite a few people in the great world who have comprehended the space law. There are many tributaries, and only this part that is displayed has more than 10 tributaries. There is also the part that is not displayed, and the number of tributaries should be more than 20. That is to say, in the great world, at least 20 people have comprehended the space law. Lin Mo Yu thought slightly, and probably guessed that most of these tributaries belong to the starry sky fish people. Unconsciously, he thought of Yu Qingru. I wonder which tributary Yu Qingru is. He had heard others say that when the Divine Venerable travels in the Lost Star River, they sometimes encounter other Divine Venerables. Although the Lost Star River is incomparably wide, the possibility of encountering each other will always occur when the number of people increases. The more people who cultivate the same law, the higher the possibility of encountering each other. In the Lost Star River, everyone exists in the form of a soul. Even if they meet, they cannot communicate, and they do not know who is who. So even if they meet in the Lost Star River, it will generally not lead to conflict. However, this is not absolute. There are treasures in the Lost Star River, as well as some precious materials. Sometimes, the two sides will fight because of this. The killing between souls is very dangerous, and the soul is often severely damaged, or even destroyed. So the Lost Star River is not an absolutely safe place. Lin Mo Yu recalled the information about the Lost Star River, and had a bottom in his heart. There is only one undying law, so there is no need to consider encountering people. The law of space is not his alone, so this point still needs to be considered. Lin Mo opened his eyes, this cultivation officially ended, his consciousness communicated with the rule steel, and a crack appeared in the sky. He bowed to the rule steel. Thank you, Senior, I'm leaving. Although he didn't know the name of this senior, he was grateful to Lin Mo for his kindness. After saying that, he returned to the real starry sky through the crack. After 5 years of separation, feeling the loneliness in the starry sky again, Lin Mo also felt a sense of returning home. Sensing the position, he found that he had flown out a considerable distance. This real world has been wandering in the starry sky, and it has been the same during the 5 years of comprehending the law, without purpose and direction. Like a lone sail in the sea, following the waves. In 5 years, the real world flew out about 1 light year, which is good, not too far. Through the induction of the skeleton god general, Lin Mo determined the position, took a step, and the whole person disappeared instantly. Tens of millions of kilometers away, Lin Mo's figure reappeared. 5 years of cultivation made him able to travel tens of millions of kilometers in each step, several times faster than before. Speed is only one of the manifestations of the law of space. Besides that, there are many other gains. For Lin Mo, 5 years is very worthwhile. The star field that originally belonged to the Buddha tribe now belongs to the Starry Sky Merman tribe. After these years of transformation, the star field has changed its appearance and become the favorite appearance of the Starry Sky Merman tribe. In their central star field, there is a star system shaped like a big fish. The Starry Sky Merman tribe calls it the Merman star system, which is also their main star system. The royal family of the Starry Sky Merman tribe lives inside. In the star system, a loud voice came out, which clansman has comprehended the law of space? No one answered. Check. Another order came out, and the royal family of the Starry Sky Merman tribe immediately took action. 2 days later, the gates of space opened one after another, and powerful members of the Starry Sky Merman tribe flew out of the gates. They are all powerful people who have comprehended the law of space. Without exception, they all have royal blood. In the Starry Sky Merman tribe, only the royal bloodline has the opportunity to comprehend the law of space. After 2 days of verification, they determined that no one had comprehended the law of space. However, a new tributary appeared in the Lost Star River, which also meant that the comprehension of the law of space did not belong to the Starry Sky Merman tribe. Yuchime, the current patriarch of the Starry Sky Merman tribe, a Saint Venerable realm powerhouse. Her eyes were gloomy, and her voice became very suppressed. Pay close attention to the Lost Star River, and pay attention to the newly emerging tributary. Stare at him. If he enters the Lost Star River in the future, join forces to kill him. The law of space can only belong to us. In the Merman tribe, the patriarch's words are the highest command. No one dared not listen to her words. Even Yu Qingru, who is a princess, must obey. The Starry Sky Merman tribe is domineering. They do not allow anyone outside their tribe to comprehend the law of space. They want to maintain the unique characteristics of the law of space, which is also the foundation of the Starry Sky Merman tribe, and must not be shaken. Lin Mo walked faster and faster, and the comprehension of these years has been realized one by one. From the initial 10 million kilometers per step, to later, each step can reach 20 million kilometers. Although he still hasn't reached the point of opening the gate of space, this speed is already very amazing. Lin Mo felt that it would not be too long before he returned to the domain. In the process of moving forward, he still released the skeleton god general every distance to explore the surroundings. After moving forward like this for a full 30 days, a glimmer of light finally appeared in his sight. Chapter 1931 What is Supreme, and What is Saint Venerable? Starlight entered the line of sight, just on Lin Mo's forward path. Lin Mo quickly approached, and the star gradually became larger in his sight. The starlight became brighter and brighter, more and more dazzling, far exceeding ordinary stars. Is it another giant star? Lin Mo guessed in his heart. After all, supergiant stars like the red star are not common. When he got closer, he finally saw clearly. More than one. The reason why the starlight is so strong is because there is more than one star, but a full 9 stars. The 9 stars form a large circle, slowly rotating in the starry sky like a roulette. The 9 stars are very close to each other, separated by no more than 1 million kilometers. This distance can almost be said to be touching each other. This situation is very abnormal. Without external interference, this arrangement is impossible in the starry sky of the great world. Someone put the 9 stars in this way, but why did this? 347. Lin Mo continued to approach. The 9 stars became clearer and clearer, and the temperature also rose. The temperature rose very quickly, and when the distance was still hundreds of millions of kilometers, Lin Mo already felt the heat. Although he is not afraid of high temperatures, the unusual high temperatures still made him vigilant. The temperature is also unusual, the temperature of the 9 stars is added together. Not just the temperature, it should be the energy of the 9 stars, gathered together. Lin Mo stopped hundreds of millions of kilometers away, observing the 9 stars. The 9 stars are similar in size, and they are all very young, unlike the red star. As long as it is not artificially destroyed, the lifespan of a star can reach hundreds of millions of years, or even billions of years. The 9 stars in front of him are in their peak period. Lin Mo's eyes narrowed, he saw a black spot in the center of the 9 stars. Switching to the undead vision, Lin Mo was shocked. In the center of the 9 stars, a huge soul flame is burning fiercely. This soul flame is the most blazing Lin Mo has ever seen, several times stronger than Saint Venerable. The identity of the other party is self-evident, that is a supreme. There is a supreme who has lived from ancient times to the present. But the lifespan limit of the supreme doesn't seem to be so long. How did he do it? In the undead vision, you can see the soul flame flying out of the fire line, using its own soul power as a link, connecting the 9 stars together. Lin Mo carefully observed and found that he was constantly absorbing energy from the 9 stars. Could it be that he relied on the 9 stars to live to this day? Just as Lin Mo was thinking, the other party's soul suddenly vibrated. "Little friend, please come over for a chat." A low and majestic voice sounded in Lin Mo's ear. Lin Mo did not hesitate and flew over. But he was still vigilant. At present, although the other party looks like a human race sage, it is not easy to say. In that great war, there were not only supremes of the human race, but also rebellions of various races, and even supremes in the Black Blood Great World. Lin Mo approached a distance, and the two sides were only separated by tens of millions of kilometers. This distance is already very close. For Lin Mo, it is only half a step away, and for the Supreme, it is only a step away. Lin Mo finally saw clearly that the other party was indeed a human. This human senior had a face full of wrinkles, was imposing without being angry, and his gaze seemed gentle, but it was full of pressure. He didn't see any hostility in his eyes. However, Lin Mo felt like something was missing. He had met several ancient sages of the human race, and the feeling they gave him was somewhat different from the person in front of him. Lin Mo couldn't say exactly where the difference was. Perhaps others wouldn't have this strange feeling, but Lin Mo knew his own situation, his soul was too sensitive, and he could sense even the slightest difference. He never let down his guard, and Lin Mo stopped approaching after reaching tens of millions of kilometers away from the other party. He felt that if he continued to approach, something bad would happen. Muttering in his heart, he remained polite to the other party on the surface. "I have met Senior, I wonder why Senior called this Junior over, what are your instructions?" Lin Mo originally wanted to directly call him Supreme Senior, but after thinking about it, he retracted the word Supreme. The other party's voice sounded again. "This Venerable's surname is Jing, given name is Shan, title is Shanline, and I am ranked as a Supreme." Lin Mo's eyes showed confusion. "May I ask Senior, what is a Supreme?" Shanline Supreme said, "Supreme is a realm higher than Saint Venerable." The confusion in Lin Mo's eyes deepened. "What is a Saint Venerable?" Shanline Supreme said, "The peak of the other shore realm is called Supreme." Lin Mo touched his head, revealing a look that he still didn't quite understand. What is the other shore realm? This time it was Shanline Supreme's turn to be stunned. "You are a dignified god Venerable, how could you not know the other shore realm?" There was a bit of anger in his voice, and the 9 stars also fluctuated, causing violent flames. Lin Mo seemed to be frightened, and subconsciously took a few steps back, with a hint of innocence. "I haven't been a god Venerable for long, I really don't know much." Lin Mo looked like he was only at the first level of God Venerable, and he deliberately weakened his aura, making him seem a little weak. Shanline Supreme was obviously a little disappointed in a first-level God Venerable who didn't know anything. "Forget it, it can be considered fate that you and I met. This old man has an inheritance here, and wants to give it to you, young friend." A gleam flashed in Lin Mo's eyes, seeming very interested. "What inheritance?" Shanline Supreme said, "An inheritance that is enough for you to cultivate to the other shore, directly reaching the Saint Venerable." Seeing that Lin Mo didn't react at all, Shanline Supreme realized that Lin Mo didn't even know what the other shore was, and his words were like playing the lute to a cow. Shanline Supreme explained again, when you cultivate to the peak of God Venerable, and then break through upwards, that is the other shore realm. Lin Mo's expression finally changed. So that's how it is. So there are still positions above God Venerable. I thought God Venerable was the end. He really is a guy who doesn't know anything, Shanline Supreme muttered in his heart as he looked at Lin Mo. Suddenly, Lin Mo said again, Senior's inheritance is so powerful, this junior's aptitude is dull, I'm afraid I will fail Senior's trust. By the way, Senior, why don't you go to the inner domain yourself? There are hundreds of millions of humans in my inner domain, it shouldn't be difficult to find a few with good aptitude. Moreover, Senior is so powerful, as long as you go to the inner domain, you will definitely be admired by everyone and then you can have whatever you want. Lin Mo said a lot, but he didn't move a step, not only didn't he get closer, but he even took a step back. He had already realized that there was something wrong with the other party. Moreover, he felt that there seemed to be a faint soul force locking onto him. 1.4 Shanline Supreme said, this Venerable is temporarily unable to act, I will return after a while. Lin Mo Oed, how about this, this junior will go back and inform the elders in the clan. The elders in the clan should be able to contact the real powerhouses of the human race, like the other shore realm, Saint Venerable, and Supreme that Senior mentioned, it would be better to let them come to find Senior. Maybe they can even help Senior. Shanline Supreme suddenly shouted, no need, they can't help this Venerable's affairs. Come here, this Venerable will give you the inheritance first, and we'll talk about the future later. He once again seduced Lin Mo, hoping that Lin Mo would go over. Lin Mo nodded, okay then, please trouble Senior to restrain the power of the stars, the temperature is too high, this junior can't get over. Shanline Supreme hummed, and restrained the power of the stars a bit, alright. Lin Mo took a step, instantly leaving 20 million kilometers, and the wings of the undead unfolded at the same time. Chapter 1932 This is a world where the strong eat the weak. Stepping on the laws of space to escape, the wings of the undead unfolded at the same time, severing the soul lock. Then, the soul force surged up, trying to break through space. Lin Mo's movements were smooth and swift. But Shanline Supreme was also very fast. When Lin Mo took a step, before the afterimage had completely disappeared, he had already acted. The 9 stars buzzed, forming a huge force field, instantly covering hundreds of millions of miles of starry sky. Space was locked, and all the laws in the starry sky were cut off. Lin Mo fell out of the void in a slightly embarrassed manner, the laws of space lost their effect. Originally, one step was 20 million kilometers, but now he only walked 10 million kilometers. The distance between him and Shanline Supreme reached 20 million kilometers. It seemed very far, but this distance was too close for a Supreme, very dangerous. The 9 stars buzzed, the force field collapsed inward, forcibly pulling Lin Mo back. Lin Mo felt as if countless hands were grabbing him, not letting him leave. The wings of the undead vibrated wildly, and soul force poured into it frantically, constantly triggering the laws of space to escape. O2 Shanline Supreme's voice became cold, you are not an ordinary first-level God Venerable at all, your soul has already reached the other shore. You were acting all along, how did you discover my abnormality? Lin Mo didn't answer, only gave a cold smile. The wings of the undead vibrated more and more violently, but the effect was not good. Shanline Supreme's power was very strong, and the 9 stars provided him with vast power, he didn't care about competing with Lin Mo in consumption. Shanline Supreme's tone was gloomy, you are very clever, you even deceived this Venerable. But it doesn't matter, you can't escape, your soul is very strong, it is the best material for making a puppet. There are no more Supremes in your human race, when this Venerable returns, it will be the time of your human race's destruction. Shanline Supreme didn't seem to want to kill Lin Mo immediately, he was dragging out time with Lin Mo, wanting to drag Lin Mo to exhaustion. Lin Mo heard from his words that he wanted to make himself into a puppet. Since that was the case, there must be some attention to it. For example, to preserve his intact body, otherwise the puppet made would likely be incomplete. Otherwise, he wouldn't have tried to attract himself over from the beginning. At the same time, Lin Mo guessed that he must have other restrictions, from the beginning to now, he had not moved even a meter. Obviously, he couldn't move. But he said that when he returned, it would be the time of the human race's destruction. This further proved that he could not move at this moment. Lin Mo thought a lot in an instant, thinking of various ways to deal with it. Shanline Supreme was not afraid of consumption, in fact, Lin Mo was not afraid either. The world tree continuously provided him with soul force, as if there was no end. As long as he didn't waste it, he wouldn't run out. Lin Mo still maintained the appearance of trying his best to escape, continuing to make Shanline Supreme underestimate him, while gritting his teeth and asking, "Which race's Supreme are you?" Shanline Supreme laughed coldly, "It's useless to tell you, you won't have heard of it." Lin Mo's eyes flickered, "Tulu Realm? No, the people of Tulu Realm are not like you. Soul Spirit Realm? No, the Soul Spirit Realm is good at soul attacks. Falling Wind Realm? Profound Fire Realm?" Lin Mo counted them one by one. Shanline Supreme sneered again and again, "You know quite a lot, just now you pretended to be ignorant of everything. It seems that your status in the human race is not low, so much the better. It doesn't matter to tell you, let you die knowing, this Venerable comes from the Starwood Realm." Lin Mo thought of the Starwood Realm. This was a small world that was not very strong. In the limited records, there was once a small piece of information about the Starwood Realm. The cultivators in the Starwood Realm have a kind of transformation ability. They can transform into various appearances, making it difficult for people to distinguish between true and false. Lin Mo suddenly understood. "So you are a traitor from the Starwood Realm, no wonder you can transform into the appearance of my human race." Shanline Supreme roared, "What traitor? Your human race sees the origin of my Shanline realm, your human race is the robber, my race only wants to take back the origin." Lin Mo sneered, "In the world of war, the strong eat the weak. Although my human race seized your origin, it also provided you with a safe place to live. You don't have to experience the suffering of war, nor do you have a crisis of destruction. In my opinion, what my human ancestors did is beneficial to you." The Mountain Forest Supreme snorted, "Bullshit, this is the excuse you guys found." Lin Mo sighed, "Whether it's the truth or an excuse, there's no point in saying more. In this world, the strong eat the weak, and weakness is the original sin." The Mountain Forest Supreme's killing intent grew stronger. "That's right, now I am strong and you are weak, you are the original sin." Lin Mo shook his head, "Not necessarily." 100 drops of myriad-colored water flew out, and 100,000 portions of faith power burned fiercely. Soul power surged out, pouring into the ancient talisman Jade Piece. The ancient talisman fist broke through the God Venerable realm limit and went straight to the other shore realm, flying towards the Mountain Forest Supreme. Lin Mo pointed backhand, and the skeleton hell emerged, enveloping the Mountain Forest Supreme. The Mountain Forest Supreme sneered, "Other shore realm attack, little guy, not bad, but useless." The 9 stars buzzed, simultaneously shooting out 9 rays of light that landed on the ancient talisman fist. The ancient talisman fist shattered on the spot, dissipating into the starry sky. This was the first failure of the ancient talisman fist. Then the 9 stars simultaneously erupted with fire, which enveloped the Mountain Forest Supreme, and the skeleton hell was instantly burned to ashes. The mission of the skeleton hell was completed, marking the Mountain Forest Supreme. Lin Mo took out a strand of hair, which he had obtained from the Howling Sky Saint Venerable. A full 1,000 drops of myriad-colored water flew out, merging into the hair. 100,000 portions of faith power burned simultaneously, superimposed amplification like the myriad-colored water. "So much ancestral water, where did you get it?" "No, you obtained the ancestral water ancient well, you must have obtained the ancestral water ancient well." The Mountain Forest Supreme roared repeatedly, his roar revealing excitement. Even a Supreme coveted the ancestral water ancient well, which made Lin Mo even more aware of the extraordinary nature of the ancestral water ancient well. Looking back, he was lucky at the time. Another 100 drops of myriad-colored water and 100,000 portions of faith power were injected into the corpse, but Lin Mo still felt it was far from enough. Hardening his heart, "Go all out." He no longer held back, and the source spell was immediately activated. Source spell. Strong soldier. Source spell. Gathering power. Lin Mo's aura climbed steadily, rising all the way, like a hot knife through butter, breaking through the 6th rank of God Venerable, stepping into the 7th rank of God Venerable. A trace of the power of rules was born, and the power of rules further amplified the power of spell. Then Lin Mo's aura continued to rise, only slowing down when it reached the 8th rank of God Venerable. A feeling of distending pain came from his soul, reaching its limit. If he dared to rise even a little more, his soul would collapse on the spot. Gathering power increased his realm, strong soldiers brought 10 times the damage, and the power of rules integrated into spell, further increasing the power of spell. In an instant, Lin Mo unleashed his power to the limit. The Mountain Forest Supreme was stunned, staring blankly at Lin Mo. How is this possible? Source spell, you actually have two. What is your background? How could you have two source spell, and you even have the ancestral water ancient well? He kept asking questions, and what answered him was an extremely violent explosion. White star level spell, corpse explosion. The hair of the howling sky Saint Venerable turned into ashes. An incomparably terrifying explosion erupted in the starry sky, the space shattered, and the galaxy collapsed. Chapter 1933. Then I'll play a war of attrition with you. A miserable cry rang out from the explosion, and Lin Mo felt his whole body lighten, and the force field was greatly weakened in the explosion. Lin Mo seized the opportunity, the wings of the undead vibrated violently, smashing through space with a head-on collision, and then crashed out from the starry sky 200 million kilometers away. Lin Mo did not leave, a killing intent flashed in his eyes. The Mountain Forest Supreme wanted to kill him, how could he suffer in silence? What's more, even the hair of the howling sky Saint Venerable was used up, which was one of his trump cards. If he just left, it would be a real loss. The explosion was still continuing, space was collapsing, and the space turbulence inside surging out like a tsunami, engulfing the Mountain Forest Supreme. The Mountain Forest Supreme screamed a few times, then his voice weakened. But even so, the Mountain Forest Supreme still did not move. Lin Mo confirmed that his guess was correct, the Mountain Forest Supreme must be unable to move for some reason. So as long as he maintained a sufficient distance from him, he would not be in danger. Lin Mo used the law of space to sense the situation of the Mountain Forest Supreme through the layers of fluctuations transmitted back from space. Under his full strength, he unleashed a blow that was stronger than the self-destruction of the howling sky Saint Venerable. This blow almost broke through the limit of the Saint Venerable, enough to cause damage to the Mountain Forest Supreme. Moreover, the Mountain Forest Supreme seemed a bit weak in Lin Mo's eyes, much weaker than the Black Stone Supreme he had seen before. Even compared to the seriously injured Red Star, it could not be compared. It can be seen that there is an essential difference between the Supreme of the Great World and the Supreme of that small world. In the explosion, the aura of the Mountain Forest Supreme weakened. However, the 9 stars seemed to be continuously providing him with energy, healing him. Lin Mo thought of the few pieces of information about the Starwood world. The star in the Starwood world refers to the stars, including planets and stars. People of the Starwood world can use the power of the stars to accomplish various things. Stars are the foundation of the Starwood world. Lin Mo's heart hardened, and he took out his stock, nearly 20 corpses of Peak God Venerable. Locking onto one of the stars, with a thought, a corpse silently turned into ashes. Boom! With a loud noise, the light of the star suddenly dimmed. Bastard! Lin Mo heard the Mountain Forest Supreme's angry roar. A smile rose at the corner of his mouth, he knew he had done the right thing. Another corpse turned into ashes, and the star once again enjoyed the second explosion. In the midst of the violent roar, the star bloomed with dazzling light, then the light quickly dimmed, and the star went out. The benefits of corpse explosion are revealed at this moment, ignoring time and space limitations. As long as it is marked and locked, no matter how far away, it can be attacked. Now Lin Mo fully experienced the benefits of ignoring space. After one star was bombed, Lin Mo keenly sensed that the aura of the Mountain Forest Supreme weakened. The aura weakened a lot, and the realm also became unstable. Lin Mo's heart moved, the number of stars will affect his realm. If that's the case, then I won't be polite. Explosions came one after another, and the stars constantly went out in the explosions. The Mountain Forest Supreme screamed, cursed, but to no avail. After the third star was destroyed, the Mountain Forest Supreme fell from the Supreme Realm on the spot, back to the Saint Venerable Realm. Then the fourth and fifth stars continued to go out, and the Mountain Forest Supreme's realm continued to decline. Even the Saint Venerable Realm was difficult to maintain. Stop, bastard, this Venerable commands you to stop, did you hear me? Lin Mo said he heard it, but would not stop. Soon, the sixth star was also destroyed. Only 3 stars remained in the starry sky, darkness enveloped, and the light of the stars was no longer dazzling. At this moment, the Mountain Forest Supreme was on the verge of collapse even as a Saint Venerable, and could fall back to the other shore realm at any time. Bastard, bastard, you deserve to die, you really deserve to die. I'm going to kill you, turn you into a puppet and stuff you in a dung pit. Mountain Forest Supreme roared, he abruptly retrieved the last 3 stars. Then his entire being transformed into a streak of light, leaping towards Lin Moi like a jump. At this moment, Mountain Forest Supreme had completely gone mad. He rushed over maniacally, wanting to kill Lin Moi. Retrieving the 3 stars into his body had a considerable impact on him. His realm completely fell into the realm of the other shore, not even a Saint Venerable anymore. Lin Moi's eyes carried contemplation. He already understood somewhat. The 9 stars were Mountain Forest Supreme's world of laws. Or rather, the world of laws that was being repaired. Mountain Forest Supreme's world of laws had suffered heavy damage and was being repaired at an extremely slow speed. During the repair process, he couldn't move, nor could he retrieve it. But he also hated the human race immensely, so he wanted to deceive himself into going over and turning himself into a puppet. One could imagine that if the distance was close enough, he, a divine venerable, wouldn't have a chance against a supreme, no matter what trump cards he had. Unfortunately, he still had flaws and couldn't hide them. He had destroyed his world of laws, causing his realm to plummet all the way down. The repair failed, and in order to kill himself, he forcibly retrieved the world of laws, returning his realm to the other shore. This time he suffered a great loss, a loss of unimaginable proportions. Millions of years of effort, ruined in one fell swoop. Want to kill me? It's not that easy. Lin Moi pointed his finger, and the undying flames blazed. The 5 directions skull throne emerged from the flames. 5 Skull Kings who had reached the 9th rank of Divine Venerable appeared in the starry sky, simultaneously wielding giant swords towards the Mountain Forest Supreme who was pouncing over. God-slaying sword. As the sword light lit up, Mountain Forest Supreme once again erupted in miserable cries. Numerous wounds appeared on his body, and green blood spurted out from the wounds. When the distance was still tens of millions of kilometers, countless Skull Divine Generals appeared in the starry sky. Lin Moi possessed 500 million Skull Divine Generals, and at this moment, he released 400 million in one go. The 400 million Skull Divine Generals surrounded Mountain Forest Supreme. The Skull Divine Generals were far from being Mountain Forest Supreme's opponents, and Lin Moi didn't expect the Skull Divine Generals to be able to deal with Mountain Forest Supreme. He just wanted to use the Skull Divine Generals to block Mountain Forest Supreme and buy time. The Skull Divine Generals had golden armor talismans protecting them, and Mountain Forest Supreme had to go all out to kill them. Including the Undead Lich. To kill a Skull Divine General, one needed to kill it 8 times in 90 seconds. If controlled well, 400 million Skull Divine Generals could block Mountain Forest Supreme for a long time. You like fighting a war of attrition, then I'll play attrition with you. Lin Moi said with a light smile. Now he wasn't trying to escape, but to get his hands on Mountain Forest Supreme. Mountain Forest Supreme was surrounded by Skull Divine Generals, and he roared madly in anger. Clusters of green mist were scattered, the green mist carrying a strong power of laws, and the Skull Divine Generals died upon contact. Although the golden armor talismans were also constantly glowing, they didn't have any effect. Fortunately, there were enough Skull Divine Generals. No matter how many died, there were immediately newcomers to replenish them, and they couldn't be killed at all. Mountain Forest Supreme was trapped in the sea of skulls, roaring in anger. Lin Moi offered up the soul-slaying sword. At this moment the time for the source technique was about to run out, and he could only unleash one last strike. He poured all the remaining soul power into the soul-slaying sword, and with a soft shout, the soul-slaying sword transformed into a streak of light and flew out. Owie! Mountain Forest Supreme screamed, clutching his head, the soul injury causing him immense pain. Lin Moi pointed his fingers repeatedly, and the last few corpses in front of him constantly disappeared. Before the corpses disappeared, myriad colors water and power of faith poured into them, enhancing the power of the technique. Explosions occurred one after another, erupting on Mountain Forest Supreme's body. The Skull Kings once again unleashed the God-slaying sword, and the Bone Law Galaxy appeared above the heads of the Skull Divine Generals, the galaxies connecting together, engulfing Mountain Forest Supreme. Chapter 1934 Exhaust you to death, Soul Spirit Warship. Lin Moi launched a saturation attack on Mountain Forest Supreme, regardless of whether it was useful or not. In short, it was just one word: exhaust. He was injured in ancient times, and he didn't know what he relied on to survive until now. Lin Moi believed that he had a limit, and this time his world of laws was shattered again. Injury upon injury, the limit wouldn't be too far away. Hundreds of millions of Skull Divine Generals, how could they not exhaust him to death? Under the rounds of attacks, one could clearly feel his aura was declining. Using the corpses of peak divine venerables as weapons, the power of the corpse explosions was enough to harm Mountain Forest Supreme. In the overwhelming attacks, Mountain Forest Supreme's aura became weaker and weaker. Lin Moi stood on the outermost periphery, and he was also retreating silently. The wings of the undead were not put away, but filled with soul power, looking like he was ready to flash away at any time. Lin Moi was worried that Mountain Forest Supreme would jump over the wall in desperation. After all, he was once a Supreme, who knew if there would be any secret techniques. In case he unleashed a secret technique and fought with himself desperately, he might capsize in the gutter. The matter of Shaoshan Saint was still fresh in his memory, and he couldn't repeat the same mistake. Unknowingly, Lin Moi had retreated tens of millions of kilometers. The battle group had shrunk in his sight, and Mountain Forest Supreme was trapped in the sea of skulls, unable to extricate himself. "Wish you have fun," Lin Moi said softly, but his heart was not feeling well. This time, he had used up almost all of his stocks. Even the trump card of Shaoshan Saint was used. If it still didn't work, even the last trump card would have to be used. That was Lin Moi's truly bottom-of-the-box thing. It could save his life in a crisis. It was better not to use it if he could avoid it. Mountain Forest Supreme's aura was getting weaker and weaker, and the skeletons couldn't be killed at all. Each strike of Mountain Forest Supreme could kill hundreds of thousands of Skull Divine Generals. But the Skull Divine Generals could be resurrected in the blink of an eye, and at the same time, more Skull Divine Generals would fill the gap. Mountain Forest Supreme was surrounded in the middle. He was extremely aggrieved, and there was a bit of despair in his grievance. Of course, he knew that Lin Moi had already left the battlefield, just not giving himself a chance to fight to the death. He couldn't rush over, and he didn't even have a chance to fight to the death. He knew that Lin Moi was going to exhaust himself to death here. In fact, he also knew that he couldn't fight for long. It was really that millions of years of effort were ruined in one fell swoop, and he couldn't help but hate it in his heart. But now, after slowly calming down, Mountain Forest Supreme knew that he had to make a choice. Either escape and look for another opportunity to take it slowly. With his racial characteristics, he might not have a chance to make a comeback. Or just ignore everything, unleash a secret technique, and die together with Lin Moi. Without any hesitation, Mountain Forest Supreme chose the former. He was a Supreme, and he didn't want to die yet. In the roar, the 3 stars that had been taken back were sacrificed again. The 3 stars were his world of laws. Although the world of laws was already broken, the world of laws was the world of laws. In the hands of a still living Supreme, the world of laws was the ultimate weapon. The 3 stars swept across, and countless Skull Divine Generals died on the spot. Mountain Forest Supreme's aura also returned to the Saint Venerable realm at this moment. His world of laws was broken, and he could no longer return to his peak state. However, the Saint Venerable realm was enough to break through the encirclement. Lin Moi sensed the change in Mountain Forest Supreme, and immediately became vigilant. But the next second, Mountain Forest Supreme suddenly flew in the opposite direction. He used 3 stars to clear the way, broke through the encirclement of the Skeleton God Generals, and fled into the distance. He actually ran away. Is he really running, or is he trying to lure me to chase after him? With his clumsy acting skills, he shouldn't be trying to lure me, but really wants to escape. In the blink of an eye, Mountain Forest Supreme had already escaped far away. If a Saint Supreme wants to escape, the skeletons' speed is not enough to catch up. But, Lin Mo's mouth curled into a smile, can you escape? Spatial laws are not only excellent for escaping, but also the best choice for chasing and killing. Lin Mo took a step and instantly crossed tens of millions of kilometers. The Skeleton God Generals disappeared and were taken back by Lin Mo, then released again, occupying a large area of the starry sky. Mountain Forest Supreme's eyes blurred. Lin Mo suddenly appeared in front of him, followed by densely packed Skeleton God Generals. Damn spatial laws. Mountain Forest Supreme changed direction without even thinking. But no matter where he fled, Lin Mo could quickly appear in front of him. Mountain Forest Supreme could only constantly change direction, either up or down, left or right. There is no specific direction in the starry sky, and you can escape in all directions. However, no matter how Mountain Forest Supreme escaped, he could not escape Lin Mo's pursuit. The power of the secret technique could not be maintained for a long time, and Mountain Forest Supreme's aura began to decline again. Mountain Forest Supreme was very anxious, but Lin Mo was not in a hurry at all. Lin Mo is still consuming until Mountain Forest Supreme's realm falls, exhausting all his strength. The two have reached this point, and Lin Mo will never let him go. After chasing for most of the day, I don't know how far I chased, Lin Mo kept consuming him, like a cat catching a mouse. Mountain Forest Supreme was extremely angry, but he was helpless. He thought about desperately fighting a few times, but Lin Mo didn't give him a chance. Blocking halfway, releasing the sea of AA skeletons, and then Lin Mo himself ran away, not contacting him at all. Mountain Forest Supreme felt that he was really going to be finished, and would be killed by Lin Mo. How can there be such a god supreme in the world? There wasn't even one in ancient times. So many skeletons, how can the human race have this kind of spell? Suddenly, Mountain Forest Supreme trembled all over, and a long ago memory surfaced in his mind. He thought of something, and his whole body trembled uncontrollably. His eyes were full of horror, and he kept muttering, "Impossible, impossible, it can't be him, it can't be him." Lin Mo noticed the abnormality of Mountain Forest Supreme and looked strange. What's wrong with him? Mountain Forest Supreme suddenly let out a strange cry and fled in one direction. Although they were all escaping, it was completely different from before. Just now, Mountain Forest Supreme exuded a strong hatred, which could be felt across tens of millions of miles. But now Mountain Forest Supreme is full of fear. What is he afraid of? What makes him so afraid? Lin Mo was about to chase after him when he suddenly felt a thud in his heart. A sobbing sound rang in his ears, not in his ears, but in his soul. It was as if someone was crying, and as if someone was about to singing with a peculiar cry. Countless sorrows flooded into my heart, and many past memories came to my mind unconsciously. That's not right. Lin Mo was instantly alert, and his soul let out a soft whistle, erasing all inappropriate emotions. Then he saw a peculiar warship flying from afar, hazy and emitting a peculiar light. The warship was tattered and full of gaps. It should have experienced a great battle. At the same time, it exudes an ancient and simple aura, with the precipitation of time, and I don't know how long it has been sailing here. A warship from the Soul Spirit realm. Lin Mo recognized it at a glance. This belonged to the Soul Spirit realm. He had felt its aura in the Soul Spirit realm. It is not surprising that a warship from the Soul Spirit realm appeared in the outer starry sky. The Soul Spirit realm was also one of the rebellious races back then, and was later completely wiped out by Lin Mo. Under the vision of the undead, there were no living beings in the Soul Spirit warship. Mountain Forest Supreme, like Lin Mo, was affected by the singing. But he also quickly reacted. Then he hesitated for a moment, and immediately flew towards the Soul Spirit warship, directly submerging into it. Chapter 1935. The Death of the Supreme, the Soul Spirit Beast. Mountain Forest Supreme escaped into the Soul Spirit warship. Lin Mo saw the whole process clearly. Mountain Forest Supreme hesitated. Obviously he was making a choice. It's not safe in the Soul Spirit warship. Lin Mo quickly made a judgment. If the Soul Spirit warship was safe, Mountain Forest Supreme would not hesitate. Similarly, if it is safe, there is no point in him escaping into it. Safety is relative, and only when the Soul Spirit warship is not safe, does Mountain Forest Supreme have a chance. Seek life and death in danger. Lin Mo analyzed to himself. His hesitation shows that the danger here will also pose a threat to him. The Soul Spirit realm's abilities are mainly concentrated on soul attacks. Mountain Forest Supreme is a supreme, his soul is only stronger than mine. So Mountain Forest Supreme thinks that he has a chance to survive inside, and I definitely dare not chase in. Lin Mo probably guessed Mountain Forest Supreme's thoughts. Even if it's not all correct, it won't be too far off. He may think that I won't chase in and will back down. But how would he know that I can't back down? Lin Mo's eyes became sharp, full of murderous intent. He really can't back down. If Mountain Forest Supreme really survived, when he recovers, it will be a catastrophe for the human race. The human race does not have a supreme now, and a supreme will be an unimaginable disaster for the human race. Even if they can survive it, it would be good to have half of the casualties. So Lin Mo could not let Mountain Forest Supreme go. The Soul Spirit warship slowly flew over. Its speed was not fast, only about 100,000 kilometers per second, similar to ordinary god kings. If you don't take the initiative to approach, there is basically no big threat. Lin Mo tried to let the skeleton god generals approach the Soul Spirit warship. Chasing is definitely necessary, but you also need to pay attention to skills. The skeleton god general flew into the Soul Spirit warship, but before he completely entered, his whole body froze in place, and then he collapsed and died on the spot. The skeleton god general's soul collapsed, and he was hit by a soul shock when he approached the soul spirit warship. The soul shock was very violent, reaching the peak of God Supreme, very close to the other shore, and the skeleton god general could not withstand it. Lin Mo immediately put away the skeleton god general and personally flew towards the soul spirit warship. The soul spirit warship was tattered and full of gaps. Lin Mo chose the same entrance as Mountain Forest Supreme. At the moment when he was about to enter the warship, the sobbing singing suddenly became intense and sharp. The sharp sound was like substance, turning into a soul attack and stabbing at the soul. Within his soul world, a purple light erupted, the purple jade barrier shimmering, blocking the impact. Lin Mo Yu was completely unaffected, directly entering the interior of the warship. The interior of the warship was interconnected, some places had already been pierced through, battered and broken, obviously a terrible battle had erupted within the warship back then. The warship's materials were extremely sturdy, impossible to damage the warship in the slightest without reaching the other shore realm. Other shore realm cultivators are cannon fodder, this saying isn't wrong at all. Lin Mo Yu recalled what Hong Xing had said, the intensity of the ancient war was such that those below the other shore realm were not qualified to participate. In other words, a godly venerable was not even as good as cannon fodder. Looking at the situation inside the warship, Lin Mo Yu muttered to himself, it hasn't even disintegrated yet, it has to be said it's a miracle. He closed his eyes and sensed for a moment, then quickly flew towards the location of the Mountain Forest Supreme. The mark he had made before still existed, the Mountain Forest Supreme had nowhere to escape. The Mountain Forest Supreme seemed to have sensed Lin Mo Yu as well, he clearly appeared flustered, and began to accelerate his escape within the warship. Lin Mo Yu noticed that his movements seemed to have become chaotic. His speed was sometimes fast, sometimes slow, and sometimes he would even stop. Vaguely, Lin Mo Yu even heard screams, it was the Mountain Forest Supreme's voice. He seemed to have encountered something terrifying. Danger has appeared. Lin Mo Yu's heart skipped a beat, after entering the warship, everything had been peaceful. Obviously, it couldn't be so peaceful, what was coming would eventually come. Suddenly, the Mountain Forest Supreme's movements became sluggish. Slower and slower, after 2 or 3 seconds, he stopped moving. His aura was rapidly weakening. Something happened. Lin Mo Yu immediately sped up and rushed over, activating his undead vision, he saw the Mountain Forest Supreme's soul fire was rapidly extinguishing. In a few seconds, he would die, his soul annihilated. Lin Mo Yu didn't care about his life or death. What Lin Mo Yu cared about was his corpse. A Supreme's corpse, this was the trump card among trump cards. With such a corpse in hand, who would he need to fear? If he didn't like someone, he could just blow them up. Even when facing a Supreme of the same level, Lin Mo Yu wouldn't be afraid. For a real trump card, taking a little risk was acceptable. Moreover, Lin Mo Yu knew his own situation, he wouldn't joke with his own life, he had ways to deal with soul attacks. When he arrived at the place where the Mountain Forest Supreme was, the Mountain Forest Supreme's soul fire had completely extinguished. He was completely dead, a dignified Supreme, actually died here. His corpse was still intact, his cause of death was soul collapse. 0 AAA asking for flowers AAAAAA. Lin Mo Yu was about to approach when his expression suddenly changed, and he took 2 steps back. A faint ray of light flew past him. If he hadn't retreated just now, this ray of light would have landed on him. This ray of light was actually a soul spirit beast, an extremely powerful and terrifying soul spirit beast. In the instant it passed by, Lin Mo Yu saw its ferocious fangs. At this moment, hundreds of the same soul spirit beasts appeared on the Mountain Forest Supreme's body. The soul spirit beasts simultaneously revealed their ferocious fangs, and charged towards Lin Mo Yu with sharp screams. The speed of the souls was very fast, arriving together with the sharp screams. The sharp sounds were like countless sharp swords piercing into his soul world, the soul world was instantly beaten into a frenzy. The trembling of the soul world also transmitted to his soul, making his soul very uncomfortable, even his thoughts were affected. 0. Lin Mo Yu finally understood why the Mountain Forest Supreme had behaved like that. He was being hunted by these soul spirit beasts. Lin Mo Yu endured the discomfort caused by the soul tremors, and pointed his finger. White star level spell, Curse of Time. The red light had just lit up, but then it extinguished instantly. Lin Moyu's expression changed, his spell had actually been interrupted. It was always him who interrupted other people's spells, he didn't expect it would be his turn now. The sharp screams could not only cause his soul to tremble, but also interrupt his spells. In the instant the spell was interrupted, hundreds of soul spirit beasts had already rushed to the outside of his soul world. They opened their fangs and constantly gnawed at the purple jade barrier of the soul world. The usually sturdy purple jade barrier was as fragile as tofu under the fangs of these soul spirit beasts. After 2 or 3 bites, there would be a big hole. The soul spirit beasts bit through the purple jade barrier, and frantically charged towards Lin Moyu's soul. They bared their fangs and claws, extremely ferocious. Lin Moyu now knew how the Mountain Forest Supreme had died, he had died from being eaten by these guys. With a thought, the world tree drew out countless branches, whipping at the soul spirit beasts like lightning. The soul spirit beasts were all whipped away, but in the blink of an eye, they pounced back again. The world tree's branches were dense, airtight. It was difficult for the soul spirit beasts to break through. After a long fruitless attack, hundreds of soul spirit beasts suddenly combined together, quickly becoming dozens of times larger, becoming a powerful soul spirit beast. The world tree branches whipped down again, unable to whip it away again. Instead, it bit off the branches, becoming even more ferocious. Lin Moyu then discovered that every inch of its body was a mouth. No matter which direction the branches whipped from, they would eventually fall into its mouth. With a thought, Lin Moyu immediately retracted the world tree, stopping the attack. The soul spirit beast also did not entangle with the world tree, and pounced towards Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu drew the soul-piercing bow, and a purple soul arrow shot out, piercing into the soul spirit beast's body. The soul beast let out a sharp and painful scream, but still rushed over regardless. The soul execution sword flew out and slashed at the soul spirit beast, the soul beast was slashed with wounds. But the wounds healed quickly, it was useless at all. The soul beast opened its mouth and bit the soul execution sword. The soul execution sword let out a sword cry, shattering all the soul spirit beast's sharp teeth. Still useless, the soul spirit beast immediately grew a new row of sharp teeth. The two sides belonged to a situation where neither could do anything to the other. The soul spirit beast ignored the soul execution sword, and pounced towards Lin Moyu again. Conventional methods are ineffective, then I can only use unconventional methods. Lin Moyu muttered to himself, and raised the staff of calamity, slamming it down fiercely. Just like swatting a fly, he used the scourge scepter to strike the soul spirit beast. It's just that this fly was a bit large. With a soft bang, the soul spirit beast exploded on the spot, turning back into hundreds of smaller soul spirit beasts. Then, these soul spirit beasts all transformed into streams of light, flying into the soul gem. The soul gem glittered, emitting an earthy yellow light. The earthy yellow light flowed onto Lin Moy, enveloping his entire soul, becoming the final layer of defense beneath the soul garment. The soul garment's defense was negligible, it was something Lin Moy had made on a whim long ago. This layer of yellow light, bestowed by the soul gem, was the truly powerful defense. Even in the dark void, when facing the myriad-colored water dragon, his soul had remained unharmed. The scourge scepter was precisely Lin Moy's confidence in daring to enter the soul spirit battleship. The effect is really good, hitting the mark every time. I didn't expect that after these fellows are killed, they still become nourishment for the soul gem. In this case, the soul spirit battleship is actually a treasure land for me. Lin Moy was delighted. After absorbing these soul spirit beasts, the soul gem visibly brightened. Although he didn't yet know what specific effect it had, it certainly wouldn't be a bad thing. Lin Moy decided to wander around the soul spirit battleship to see if he could harvest more soul spirit beasts. His consciousness returned, and he walked to the Mountain Forest Supreme. The Mountain Forest Supreme revealed his original appearance after death. The human form was his disguise, his true form was a dark, black mountain tree. It was no different from the wild trees seen in the mountains on a daily basis, completely unremarkable. Moreover, its height was less than 2 meters, too ordinary. I didn't expect the people of the Mountain Forest realm to look like this. It seems that the Mountain Forest realm is also a world of plant-based lifeforms. No wonder they can live so long. The lifespan of plant-based lifeforms is already long enough, and with some special methods, living for millions of years doesn't seem impossible. He waved his hand and collected the Mountain Forest Supreme's corpse, obtaining a trump card. He wouldn't be afraid anymore. Even if he encountered a Supreme, he would just detonate it if he didn't like them. Anyway, killing one would just create another, an endless cycle. He continued forward in the soul spirit battleship, searching for soul spirit beasts. The Scourge Scepter had already been taken out of the soul world and held in his hand. The seemingly incomplete Scourge Scepter was the best weapon against soul spirit beasts. Whether single or fused, it hit the mark every time. Lin Moi knew that it wasn't the Scourge Scepter that was powerful, but the soul gem on it. Without the soul gem, the Scourge Scepter, though sturdy, could not become a weapon against soul spirit beasts. I wonder what the origin of these gems is, that they are so powerful. Lin Moi couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Regarding other magical treasures, with his current realm and vision, he could always see a thing or two. Even Supreme Realm magical treasures, he could imagine them. Only the Scourge Scepter was something he couldn't see through at all. As the saying goes, if you can't figure something out, don't think about it. Lin Moi straightforwardly didn't think about these things, and the answer would come in the future. The Soul Spirit battleship, which was incredibly terrifying in the eyes of others, had become Lin Moi's back garden. In the Soul Spirit battleship, in addition to soul spirit beasts, Lin Moi also obtained several corpses. Some were human, and some were from other races. The Soul Spirit battleship had been wandering aimlessly in the outer space for who knows how many years. Over the years, many people must have entered it. Those who were lucky could escape, and those who were unlucky would remain here forever. These corpses were all god sovereigns. Lin Moi felt that if those in the other shore realm entered here, as long as they were careful enough, they could still escape. Even peak god sovereigns had a chance to escape. The misfortune of someone like the Mountain Forest Supreme was rare. Lin Moi collected all these corpses. He would take the human ones back, investigate their identities, and bury them properly, so they could return to their roots. As for the alien races, he would use them as weapons. A day later, Lin Moi arrived at the core of the Soul Spirit battleship. At this moment, he had obtained 13 corpses of peak god sovereigns. 3 of them were human, and the other 10 belonged to alien races, naturally becoming his weapons. Adding the corpse of the Mountain Forest Supreme, this trip had already been a great profit. The soul gem on the Scourge Scepter was even brighter than before, with a mesmerizing light flowing on it, which was very pleasing to the eye. Along with it, the yellow light on the surface of the soul became even stronger, seemingly with a tendency to materialize. The soul gem had gained a trace of spirituality. Lin Moi realized that the soul gem was awakening in this form. The soul gem seems to be in a dormant state. When you wake up, I wonder what kind of brilliance you will unleash. Lin Moi muttered to himself in a low voice, not only the soul gem, but also the elemental gem next to it. The elemental gem also seemed to be dormant and had not truly awakened. If one day, all 5 gems were collected and fused into one, and all of them awakened, how strong could the Scourge Scepter become? With beautiful fantasies, Lin Moi entered the core area. The core area was surprisingly quiet, with no soul spirit beasts present. However, Lin Moi's gaze narrowed, and he saw a soul body. This soul body was humanoid, about 1 meter tall, and was sitting on an exquisite throne. Soul spirit human. Lin Moi had once entered the soul spirit realm, so he immediately judged that the soul body in front of him was a native creature of the soul realm. Their appearance was similar to humans, but shorter, and they were also called soul spirit humans. Humans have flesh and blood, but they don't. Their form of existence is the soul. It was nothing for a soul spirit human to appear in the soul spirit battleship. The key was that this soul spirit human was looking at him, giving Lin Moi a creepy feeling. His facial features looked very similar to those of humans, and his emotions could be judged from his facial features. The soul spirit human opened his mouth and let out a sigh. It has finally come. Lin Moi was stunned for a moment. What did "it has finally come" mean? Lin Moi said, "Can you explain in detail?" The soul spirit human said to himself, "I have done what I promised you. Please don't go back on what you promised me." As he spoke, his body gradually dissipated, turning to ashes. Lin Moi saw that there was a box placed on his seat. The runes engraved on the box were ancient human runes. Chapter 1937. Supremes are so poor, Goddess Luo awakens. Looking at the box left by the soul spirit human, Lin Moi fell into deep thought. When the races rebelled, the soul spirit race was one of them. Why would he have a human box? Ancient runes are unique to the great world. No other race except humans knows them. There is no doubt that this box is a human item. He said, he has done what he promised us, and hopes that we don't go back on what we promised him. What exactly does it mean? Without a clue, Lin Moi couldn't figure it out. Understandably, in ancient times, the ancestors of the human race once promised the soul spirit race something, and there was a transaction between the two sides. But what exactly it was, the answer may be in the box. Lin Mo released a skeleton god general and let the skeleton god general touch the box. The skeleton god general easily picked up the box without encountering any danger. The box is square, less than half a meter in length and width, and looks very delicate. The entire box is covered with runes. These runes are extremely complex, and Lin Mo feels a little dizzy just looking at them. This is imprinting an ancient rune, flattened, on the box, which ordinary people cannot do. Ancient runes are three-dimensional and have thickness. If you want to change the shape of the ancient rune and turn it into a plane, the difficulty can be imagined. Nowadays, no one can do it in this era. Lin Mo felt that even in ancient times, only a few people could do this. The ancient runes were too complicated. Lin Mo only glanced at them a few times and had already determined that he could not unlock this ancient rune. If he couldn't unlock the ancient rune, he couldn't open the box. Unless he used brute force, such as smashing the box with the scepter of natural disaster. But it's hard to say whether the contents inside can be preserved. The soul spirit race said that what they promised us has been done. The us here should refer to the human race, at least the strongest members of the human race. The soul spirit race's transaction was not with a certain person, but possibly with the human race. Thinking of this, Lin Mo decided to take the box back and hand it over to the holy venerables for processing. No matter what's in the box, he believed that the holy venerables would not hide it from him. Moreover, whether the holy venerables can open the box is still a question. What is he worrying about here? After confirming that there was no danger, Lin Mo put away the box. This is the core area of the Soul Spirit battleship, and also the place to control the Soul Spirit battleship. Unfortunately, the battleship has been damaged and can no longer be controlled. The battleship is aimlessly sailing in the extraterritorial starry sky, without any direction. The singing, like weeping, came again. At this moment, Lin Mo understood a little. This singing seemed to be telling the fate of the Soul Spirit world and was crying for the Soul Spirit world. Lin Mo sighed softly and left the Soul Spirit battleship. The Soul Spirit beasts in the Soul Spirit battleship have basically been eliminated, but as time goes by, new Soul Spirit beasts will be born in the battleship. Watching the Soul Spirit battleship disappear into the dark starry sky, Lin Mo also felt a sense of sigh. A whole world, a whole race, so little can be left in the end. If at that time, the great world was occupied and the human race fled, would they also be like the Soul Spirit race, wandering in the endless starry sky? Erasing the thoughts that shouldn't be there, Lin Mo was very clear that he was influenced by the singing of the Soul Spirit people. Lin Mo self-comforted, some emotion is not a bad thing, at least it proves that I am human and have feelings. After the Soul Spirit battleship completely disappeared and could no longer be traced, Lin Mo retracted his gaze. The Soul Spirit battleship didn't fly fast, and it didn't fly too far in 2 days. Before entering the battleship, he left a skeleton god general for positioning, so he wouldn't get lost. Lin Mo took out the corpse of the mountain forest supreme again. The corpse was shaped like dry wood, without any vitality. After a search, Lin Mo found a storage item in a crack in the dry wood. Normally, holy venerables and supremes would replace storage items after having a rule world. Except for some special things, most things would be put into the rule world. However, the mountain forest supreme was different. His rule world was previously exposed outside, so Lin Mo judged that he had other storage treasures. Over the years, there would not be few who were deceived by him, or killed, or became puppets. The properties of these people naturally fell into the hands of the mountain forest supreme. And as a dignified supreme, he must have his own savings. Now that he searched, he found a storage treasure. This is a storage treasure similar to a broken branch, which looks unremarkable. If Lin Mo's soul was not sensitive enough, he might not be able to find it. Hope you don't let me down. The soul probed into it. With the death of the mountain forest supreme, his storage treasure had no owner and was easily opened. A large pile of things appeared in the induction. Most of them were not from the human race, and Lin Mo could not recognize many of them. There were too many things, giving Lin Mo a feeling of not knowing where to start. But because it was the treasure of the Supreme, Lin Mo had some expectations, so he tried to find it as patiently as possible. Take out all the things belonging to the human race, and put the things of the alien race together. Most of the things belong to the God Venerable realm, there are not many things in the other shore realm, and even less in the Supreme realm. A little disappointment was revealed in his eyes. The mountain forest Supreme is so poor, what kind of Supreme is this? His words were full of disdain. Such a poor Supreme is not as rich as the several holy venerables of the human race. What is this? Lin Mo suddenly saw a pair of pearls. This pair of pearls gave him a sense of familiarity, as if he had seen them somewhere. After thinking about it, Lin Mo subconsciously blurted out, "It's Luo Shen's stuff." The offspring of the starry sky fish human race and the human race, the only mixed blood princess recognized by the starry sky fish human race, Princess Luo Shen. Lin Mo took out the pearl and also took out the soul orb containing Luo Shen. He carefully compared the aura of the two, and it was indeed exactly the same. It can be concluded that the pearl does belong to Luo Shen. Seemingly sensing her own things, Luo Shen's soul in the soul orb suddenly emitted a trace of movement. The space around the soul orb was slightly shaking by a very slight degree. Then, the shaking became more and more intense, and the pearls also began to shaking. Then, the pearl suddenly bloomed with a strong light, and the power reaching the other shore realm burst out from the pearl, forcibly pushing Lin Mo away. Lin Mo looked at this scene curiously, with a bit of surprise in his eyes. Luo Shen's soul seemed to be in the soul orb, within reach. In fact, there is a spatial rule. The space inside the soul orb is extremely large, and it is almost impossible to wake up Luo Shen through the soul orb. This is also a kind of protection for Luo Shen. Similarly, it is difficult for Luo Shen to sense the outside world. Unexpectedly, she could have a sense with the pearl. Obviously, Luo Shen's control over the law of space far exceeded his imagination. Pearls and soul orbs call each other and resonate. Lin Mo felt that Luo Shen's aura was getting stronger and stronger, and the soul seemed to be awakening. The information of Luo Shen was recalled in his mind. Luo Shen once reached the other shore realm and was one of the elders of the starry sky fish human race. It is not clear whether she has reached the holy venerable realm. Later, Luo Shen left the starry sky fish human race and never returned. Her pearl also fell into the hands of the mountain forest supreme. The whole process is not difficult to imagine. Luo Shen should have entered the extraterritorial area, and then met the mountain forest supreme. With the law of space, Luo Shen should have escaped, but not completely escaped. The body was destroyed, and the soul entered the soul orb and fell into a deep sleep. Thinking about it this way, everything has an answer. Chapter 1938. It will take thousands of years to go back by yourself. Space fluctuations are becoming more and more intense, and the law of space is constantly surging in the starry sky, plucking layers of space. Space is like sea waves, overlapping towards the outside, spreading, impacting, wave after wave. For Lin Mo, it is an excellent teaching experience. Lin Mo is also welcome, carefully feeling the space fluctuation, as far as possible to it absorbing, digesting. Pearls and soul orbs are close to each other, and finally touch together. Pearls are like sinking into the sea, sinking into the soul orb. The next second, the pair of pearls over infinite distance, appeared on the ears of Luo Shen's soul. It's actually a soul treasure. Lin Mo realized that he had misjudged. These pearls were not only the possessions of Luo Shen, but also a soul treasure. Not just any soul treasure, but a beyond realm soul treasure containing the laws of space. There's no need to elaborate on how precious such a soul treasure is. I'm afraid the entire starry sky merman race wouldn't be able to find another one. Lin Mo guessed that Luo Shen should have reached the Saint Venerable realm. Even if she was a princess, she was, after all, a hybrid. At the beyond realm, she couldn't possibly have as much power as those pure-blooded elders. The starry sky merman race places too much emphasis on bloodline, which is an unchangeable fact. The spatial waves became more turbulent, and the space began to distort violently, pushing Lin Mo away again. Lin Mo was in the waves, using the laws of space to resonate with them and verify them. Bang! The space shattered, not by some powerful force, but by someone destroying it from the inside. The space collapsed all the way to the deepest layer. Colorful spatial turbulence surged from the depths, enveloping the soul pearl. The soul pearl sparkled, mixing with the spatial turbulence. A colorful sphere appeared in the starry sky, looking very beautiful. While comprehending the laws of space, Lin Mo was also admiring this change. Luo Shen's soul fluctuations became more and more intense, and more clear. The power of the soul continued to climb, and waves of soul pressure spread out. As expected, a saint venerable. Lin Mo realized that his judgment was correct. Luo Shen was indeed not an ordinary beyond realm, but a saint venerable. In the Starry Sky Merman race, saint venerables and beyond realms are both elders, but their status is completely different. Saint venerable realm elders have a status comparable to that of the patriarch and have extremely high rights. To a certain extent, it can also compensate for the lack of bloodline. The Starry Sky Merman race thinks that their bloodline is the most noble, but Lin Mo is very clear that the human race's bloodline is the most noble. At that time, there were no 4 major source races at all. The master of the great world was the human race, without exception. In the colorful ball, Luo Shen's aura became stronger and stronger, until it reached its peak, and the colorful pearl exploded like fireworks. The spatial waves that had lasted for a while also stopped, and the space began to recover. A noble and elegant woman appeared in sight. Luo Shen looks 99% like a human race, only some details still retain the characteristics of the Starry Sky Merman race. If she hides these details, she will be a complete human race, and there will be nothing for the Starry Sky Merman race. Luo Shen's eyes are deep, as if they can hold the entire starry sky. Every rhythm of her is integrated with the space, with an unspeakable beauty. She bowed gracefully to Lin Mo. Thank you, little friend, for saving me, Lin Mo immediately returned the greeting. Senior Luo Shen, you don't need to be so polite. This junior just happened to be here, Luo Shen showed a beautiful smile. Little friend is too modest. To be able to kill the Mountain Forest Supreme, little friend's strength is by no means comparable to ordinary people. The human race deserves to be the master of this world, with such deep luck that no other race can compare. No matter how many hardships you experience, one day you will regain your divine position and reach your peak again. Lin Mo heard some other meanings from Luo Shen's words. Luo Shen seemed to know some things that even he didn't know. It seems that Luo Shen should have had some other gains in the outer domain. Lin Mo asked, with Senior Luo Shen's strength, how could she be, by the Mountain Forest Supreme, Luo Shen showed a wry smile. I misjudged. At that time, the Mountain Forest Supreme disguised himself as a human race supreme and deceived me. Taking advantage of my unpreparedness, he launched a sneak attack. My physical body was destroyed, and my soul was able to escape with the help of these pearls. However, my soul was also severely damaged, and I have been hiding in the soul pearl to recuperate. She talked about her experience, only blaming herself for not being able to see through the Mountain Forest Supreme's disguise. A supreme, even if it is an injured supreme, it is not impossible to succeed in a sneak attack on an unprepared saint venerable. The main reason is that Luo Shen has half of the human race's bloodline and has a great affection for the human race, which is why she was deceived. Little friend must be wondering why I know. Actually, it's all because of these pearls. Luo Shen stroked the pearls on her ears. These pearls are treasures that I accidentally obtained in the outer domain. They are not only soul treasures, but also space treasures and storage treasures. In addition, it can also record what is happening around it. Even if it is placed in storage space, it will not have any impact on it. So I know what you did before. Lin Mo was really shocked now. There are such magical treasures in the world that integrate various functions into one. In this way, only my Scourge Scepter can be compared with it. Lin Mo finally understood why Luo Shen could complete the reshaping of her physical body so quickly. One is the use of spatial rules, and the other is that there are a lot of materials in these pearls. But Luo Shen only has her soul left. Where is her rule world? A saint venerable must have a rule world. But Lin Mo couldn't ask this question, because it involved the saint venerable's greatest secret. Luo Shen continued, I one half, but little friend's storage space is very peculiar, even it can't break through little friend's storage space. In other words, Luo Shen didn't know what happened after he put away the Mountain Forest Supreme's body. Lin Mo said, that's not a storage space, but my talent. Luo Shen showed a look of understanding. No wonder. Little friend is from the human race, and you can also comprehend the laws of space, which is really commendable. Being saved by little friend, this kindness and affection is hard to repay. Here is a small gift, which I will give to little friend. In the future, if little friend has any instructions, Joudas, please come and find me, and I will do my best. Saying that, Luo Shen took out a shell and sent it to Lin Mo's hand. Thank you, Senior Luo Shen. Lin Mo didn't check what was in the shell. The things sent by the Saint Venerable would not be bad. Luo Shen smiled. Is little friend going back to the inner domain? It is still millions of light years away from the inner domain. This Venerable can send little friend on a journey. Lin Mo was stunned on the spot. He didn't expect the distance to be so far. Red Star only told him the direction, but didn't know the specific distance. Millions of light years, cold. At his current speed, even if he goes all out, it will take at least thousands of years to go back. This time is too long. Lin Mo immediately didn't be polite. Then I will trouble Senior Luo Shen. Luo Shen smiled. If it weren't for some things in the outer domain, I should have sent you back in person. Saying that, Luo Shen tapped her finger lightly, and the rules of space gathered, and a space door quickly formed. Lin Mo said, thank you, Senior Luo Shen, see you again. Chapter 1939. The former human race was too kind. Lin Mo entered the space door and experienced a short space trip. Just a few tens of seconds later, Lin Mo had already left the space channel and returned to the starry sky. A large amount of light shot from afar, and countless stars flickered in the distant places, releasing light and heat. It is not far from the inner domain here, at most a few light years away, which Lin Mo can reach in a short time. So fast. Lin Mo sighed. This is the difference in the laws of space. Luo Shen's control over the laws of space is beyond imagination. She is a Saint Venerable, completely controlling the laws of space, and has sublimated into rules. In terms of space, he can formulate his own rules and perform various operations on the space. Opening the door of space like this and instantly sending himself to a place millions of light years away doesn't seem to be a difficult task. Recalling the previous experience, Lin Mo found that it was different from any of his previous transmissions. Although the teleportation array can also perform ultra-long distance teleportation, the speed is much slower. Yu Qingru's space door is fast, but the distance is too short. The warship modified by the Starry Sky Fishmen can travel in deep space for a long time and is very fast, but not this fast. Tens of seconds, millions of light years, this speed is unimaginable. Lin Moyu also realized that if he wanted to travel in the outer space one day, he must master the law of space to perfection. Finally back, Lin Moyu breathed a sigh of relief and immediately headed towards the starlight. 263. In the human race god city, Venerable Rune Saint rushed into the central temple like lightning, and said with surprise, the Death Dragon Knight has responded. Hearing this news, Venerable Hao Saint and Venerable Tian Saint stood up abruptly. They also showed surprise in their eyes. Really? Since Lin Moyu disappeared, the Death Dragon Knights had lost their movement. Now that they have responded, it means that Lin Moyu is back. Venerable Hao Saint was very happy. I knew this kid would be fine. Venerable Tian Saint said, little friend Lin has deep blessings, an occasional accident is at most a surprise. Venerable Hao Saint said, perhaps there may not even be a surprise. This kid is too calm. Even in the face of the self-destruction of the Saint Venerable, he is the first to kill. Venerable Rune Saint said, I will have people monitor the starry sky. As soon as I find the trace of little friend Lin, I will immediately notify you. Venerable Tian Saint nodded. Let the military prepare, it may be a war. The human race's star field is located near the center of the domain. Lin Moyu's return from outer space has a certain probability of passing through the territory of other races. If it is a small race, they generally dare not do anything to the human race. If it is a hostile race, especially several powerful races, they will not let go of a single human god. Lin Moyu's return journey may not be peaceful, it depends on which direction he returns from. The light in front of me is getting stronger and stronger, filling the entire vision. Lin Moyu didn't feel uncomfortable at all, but felt very comfortable. Belonging to the great world, there is still a big difference between the inner and outer regions. This accidental entry into the outer region, after many years of separation, there is a feeling of missing. Lin Moyu stepped out step by step, each step was 20 million kilometers, the speed was amazing. Even the Golden Eagle clan god, using space leap as a prerequisite, the speed is only like this. The stars are rapidly enlarging, and the stellar light is becoming more and more intense. More than 10 days later, several galaxies came into view. The arrangement of these galaxies is a bit strange, not the human galaxy. The Death Dragon Knight has become Lin Moyu's best positioning coordinate. As long as it is not too far away, Lin Moyu will not get lost. From these galaxies, Lin Moyu saw a large number of creatures. These creatures are not strong, most of them are still in the category of ordinary people, and even the transcendent god realm is rare. Occasionally there are a few true god realms, the strongest one is only a god king. These creatures look very strange, similar to reptiles. Although they have strength, they have not fully evolved. A large part still belongs to the barbaric period and needs a long time to evolve. But often the great world will not give them time to evolve. Their fate is often to become slaves of some powerful races, or to be directly eliminated. If the meat is delicious, it may become a delicacy in the mouths of some races. Lin Moyu didn't disturb them, just passed by the galaxy. Now it is still at the junction of the inner and outer domains, there are not many galaxies here, very scattered. After another 2 days, the galaxies finally began to increase. AEAC, the number of stars has increased, and resources are more abundant. This also means that Lin Moyu has officially returned to the domain. A distance of 20 million kilometers, crossed in one step. Lin Moyu had just appeared in the starry sky, and attacks fell on him. The purple gold body launched instinctively, blocking the attack. The attack intensity is not high, that is, the God King level, for Lin Moyu, it is not even enough to tickle. Lin Moyu was very surprised, he didn't expect to enter a battlefield. 2 races are fighting, the scale of the war is not large, and the leaders are only a few small gods. Human race. How could the human race suddenly appear here? You leave quickly, we are at war. Lin Moyu's rash appearance caused both sides to stop at the same time. They are just small clans and cannot afford to offend a behemoth like the human race. If a human god is harmed here, they cannot afford the human race's revenge. Lin Moyu looked at them, these 2 races were too small, so small that they didn't even remember their names. Lin Moyu smiled slightly, I'm just passing by, you fight yours, don't mind me. Then he stepped out and disappeared into the battlefield. The strength of the 2 races is too weak, and the scope of the battlefield is also very small. Lin Moyu just took 1 step and left the battlefield behind. In the great world, war is everywhere. For resources, for survival, for rights, various races have been fighting. Fighting to the death seems to never end. Lin Moyu thought of the ancient times, when countless human powerhouses conquered one world after another, incorporating those worlds into the great world and becoming vassals of the great world, seemingly plundering other people's things. In fact, from another perspective, it is also a kind of protection. If those small worlds collide, they will also launch a war, with countless casualties. Under the rule of the human race, they can coexist peacefully and there will be no war between them. The creatures in the world can grow freely. Because the human race is strong enough, they will not restrict them. Even if a few supremes appear in their clan, it will not have any impact on the human race. But even so, they are still not satisfied. At the most dangerous moment for the human race, they became traitors at the same time and stabbed the human race in the back. Lin Moyu's eyes showed murderous intent. If it happens again, the human race should make another choice. In his heart, the human race was too kind at the beginning. If all the creatures in those worlds were killed, there would be no later disaster. But it's not too late now. The survivors of those worlds have become various races in the great world after so many years of changes. They may still remember history, or they may have lost all history, but it doesn't matter. One day, they will pay for what their ancestors did. Lin Moyu stepped towards the human star field, and suddenly a bright green flame erupted violently from the starry sky. Chapter 1940. I passed by the devil's house. The bright green flame bloomed in front of me like fireworks, and then it erupted like a volcano, erupting wildly. The flame turned into a deep abyss demon dragon and rushed towards Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu did not dodge or avoid, letting the fire dragon hit him. His purple gold body shimmered, the abyss fire was blocked, unable to harm Lin Moyu in the slightest. Abyss fire. Amidst the flames, Lin Moyu remained calm, knowing which race's starfield he had entered. This was the demon race's starfield, specifically the territory of the abyss lineage. He had triggered the demon race's barrier and was attacked by it. Lin Moyu endured the abyss fire, approached the barrier, and unleashed a punch. Bang! With a loud sound, the barrier was impacted, revealing itself in the starry sky. It was an incredibly massive barrier, enveloping a large expanse of the starfield. Through the barrier, countless star systems could be seen. These star systems also had stars, but they were different from those of the human race. They were tainted by abyss fire, the stars appearing green and having a low temperature, much lower than ordinary flames. The abyss lineage of demons represented coldness and fear. They favored this kind of cold flame, which was repulsive. Lin Moyu didn't know what the demon race's original world was like. They were once conquered by the human race. The human race had given them space to live, but later, they betrayed the human race. The sages of that time were too kind. Lin Moyu uttered softly, unleashing nearly 1,000 punches, forcibly shattering a large area of the barrier. This kind of large-scale barrier was not a single structure but was made up of countless small barriers linked together. Lin Moyu relied on his brute strength to shatter one of them, then flew inside. Lin Moyu's actions alarmed the demon defenders. With his undead vision, Lin Moyu saw a group of soul flames flying towards him. 1,000 people, they seem to be underestimating me. The arriving demon army was only 1,000 strong, carried by a warship, swooping in. The warship contained a 1,000-man team, the strongest of whom was only a god king, pitifully weak in Lin Moyu's eyes. Before they arrived, while still millions of miles away, Lin Moyu pointed his finger. The bone hell appeared, enveloping the demon race's warship. Hellfire burned the warship, and countless hellish wraiths instantly dismembered and devoured the demons. The demons were not strong enough. After devouring them, the hellish wraiths did not become much stronger, the effect being far less than devouring a god sovereign. The damaged warship floated in the starry sky. Lin Moyu passed by the warship, flying towards the distance. He wouldn't enter the demon race's heartland. Although confident in his strength, he wasn't arrogant to that extent. He was just passing by the demon race, so he would leave some traces of his visit. Lin Moyu traveled along the edge of the demon race's starfield, eventually stopping on a planet, looking down with icy eyes. On the planet, many demons were feeding. Their food wasn't anything else but living beings of other races. Those beings cried out in agony, but couldn't resist the demons, tearing and biting. Their appearance was no different from beasts. Lin Moyu had no sympathy, nor anger, only disgust. The demon race's star systems were filled with slaughter and brutality. There were no exquisite buildings here, the planets were covered in flowing green flames, emitting a strong stench. The stench was so strong that it could be smelled even in the starry sky, and the soul faintly felt uncomfortable. The blood of those beings flowed into the ground, seeping into the earth, so that the water of the entire planet was filled with a bloody smell. It was unknown how many years it would take to turn a planet into such a state. Once, the human race had countless vast starfields. In the ancient war, a large number of planets were destroyed and shattered. 100,000 years ago, various races invaded the human race, leading to the destruction of many more planets, many of which were plundered by various races and became their resources. A good planet has actually become like this. The feeling of disgust grew stronger. Lin Moyu flicked his finger, and the bone hell flew out again, enveloping the planet. The entire planet was enveloped by the bone hell. Hellfire raged everywhere, and the already terrible environment became even more terrifying. In the bone hell, there were bones and hellfire everywhere. Bones fell from the sky, along with hellfire, smashing onto the planet. In an instant, countless demons were crushed by the bones or burned to death by the hellfire. Then the most terrifying hellish wraiths rushed out, beginning to devour the demons on the planet. Since you like to eat other beings, then taste the pain of being eaten yourself. Eat slowly, don't rush, take a few more bites. Lin Moyu gave the order to the hellish wraiths, telling them to eat slowly, so that these demons could also taste the feeling of being eaten. The hellish wraiths changed from large bites to small bites, tearing and devouring the demons one by one. The planet was shrouded in death, and facing millions of hellish wraiths equivalent to the 6th rank of God Sovereign, the demons had no power to resist. They wanted to escape, but were enveloped by the bone hell, with nowhere to escape. 0 AAAA seeking fresh flowers AAAA. Lin Moyu was admiring the performance of the bone hell when he suddenly heard an angry shout. Demons had arrived, 18 god kings and 1 god sovereign. Lin Moyu had already discovered them. They were originally near the star, seemingly cultivating using the star. Abyss fire constantly erupted from the green star, serving as nourishment for these demons. 0. They discovered Lin Moyu and rushed over as soon as possible. Lin Moyu's mind moved, and the bone hell instantly expanded, engulfing them all. The hellish wraiths pounced on them, devouring them frantically. What is this? Ah, my soul, what the hell is this? Why is it so strong? The group screamed wildly, casting spells and taking out magical treasures to attack the hellish wraiths. Unfortunately, they were too weak and couldn't harm the hellish wraiths at all. In the blink of an eye, the group had been devoured clean, leaving not even dregs behind. In just half an hour, this starfield became completely silent. The planet, along with the demons on it, was completely eaten by the hellish wraiths. The hellish wraiths became slightly stronger, but not significantly. Lin Moyu felt the changes in the bone hell. Overall, the effect of devouring a planet was decent, better than devouring a god king. Planets can be devoured, so what about stars? Lin Moyu's heart stirred, and he stepped out to the side of the star. The star emitted a green light, and abyss fire danced on the star. The next moment, the bone hell enveloped the star, and the hellish wraiths began to devour the star. It really works. Lin Moyu's heart stirred, and he began to feel the changes in the bone hell. The star was shrinking at a speed visible to the naked eye, and the aura of the bone hell was also growing stronger. Although the strengthening was not obvious, it was at least getting stronger. An hour later, this star was completely devoured. A star is equivalent to devouring a high-ranked god Venerable. The effect is not bad. An ordinary planet is equivalent to a low-ranked god Venerable. Since that's the case, Lin Mo looked towards the distance, where there were still many galaxies and many stars.